Okay. Coincident with that, we were releasing Air Force One. I had another company, Beacon Communications, run by two terrific film producers, Armin Bernstein and Mark Abraham. And we had decided to make a big movie. There's no guarantee how those things work out, but everything came together. Wolfgang Peterson, Harrison Ford, terrific script by Andrew Marlowe. And it was pure joy. And it came out and was one of the most successful movies of all time, leading R-rated release in history. So you're feeling kind of good about things. And what that did was it created some confidence when you get cold-cocked like this. A really successful organization, Jim Cronin, Art Aaron, Tim Romani, who built Kaminsky Park, to sort of huddle and say, okay, what do we do with this? Do we want 5 draft picks? What are we going to do without Joe? Well, that was an idiot test, right? What are you going to do without Joe? You're going to end up in the toilet. And Joe was, somebody that Pierre saw as a potential successor for him when he was no longer interested in being the president of the team. And so there was so much at stake. In essence, what you do, you bang around like a pinball for about 3 days trying to figure out where the restroom is. But then you get your act together and you say, okay, well, let's not waste this crisis. What would we need to do to put ourselves, the company, in the best position to feel smart about matching this offer? And the answer was pretty simple. You're not going to take money from the film company and pay a professional athlete, say, thanks for, you've grown up, Beacon, you've done a great job, and as a prize, we're going to take all your money away and play a hockey player. That wouldn't happen. But what that did is it allowed me to pick up the phone and call the mayor and say, hey, Wellington, look, let's finish the arena deal, because in order to sell to all of our free agents a vision about what Denver sports and Colorado sports can be, we should be in a state-of-the-art venue. And we've got, all the pieces in place to do that. Let's finish that deal. That'll send a message. And these things we're haggling over, I need them to pay Joe Sakic and keep the team together. We've got to be able to put a respectable product on the ice. Number 2, great corporate partner, Liberty Media. They're legendary in the media business. And to reach out to them and say, look, now we have the arena, we've got these 2 teams and things are relatively stable. How would you like to invest in a small piece? And not coincidentally, the exact number that we need to match this offer. So I'm padding, our resources. And then the final piece, which was the one we were pretty confident we could get done. We didn't know if we could get any of it done, but we were confident we might get this last one done, is that Fox wanted to re-up with the Avalanche and the Nuggets. So to cement them for a long period of time and maybe recalibrate the rights payment so we got more up front, again, improving, that gave us the strength to then turn around and on day 7 and say, oops, sorry, you stank.
On the court and off, your home for the NBA is SiriusXM. Follow all the drama as your favorite team vies for it all. SiriusXM NBA Radio, SiriusXM 86.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927. Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950. 12:30 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the New York Islanders. Flyers on XM219, Internet 940. Islanders on Internet 937. 3 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the New York Rangers. Hurricanes on XM221, Internet 924. Rangers on Internet 938. 4 p.m., LA Kings face the Colorado Avalanche. Kings on XM220, Internet 932. Avs on Internet 926. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 91. 6 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Buffalo Sabres. Panthers on XM219, Internet 931. Sabres on Internet 922. 7 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks face the Winnipeg Jets. Blackhawks on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 925. Jets on Internet 951. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs face the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs on Sirius XM Channels 167, Internet 946. Canadiens on Internet 934. 8 p.m. Dallas Stars face the Utah Hockey Club. Stars on XM220 Internet 928, Utah on Internet 947. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken face the St. Louis Blues. Kraken on XM219 Internet 943, Blues on Internet 944. 10 p.m. Vancouver Canucks take on the Minnesota Wild. Canucks on Sirius XM channels 167 Internet 948, Wild on Internet 933. 10 p.m. Vegas Golden Knights take on the Nashville Predators. Knights on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 949, Preds on Internet 935. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927, Capitals on Sirius XM channels 91 Internet 950.
SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 brings you expert analysis from former players, coaches, and executives, plus reaction to all the latest news on the only 24/7 station dedicated to the National Football League.
In the summer of 1997, the New York Rangers tried to sign away Joe Sakic from the Colorado Avalanche, and owner of the Avs at that time, Charlie Lyons, had 7 days to figure out how to keep Sakic. Stopping by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91, Lyons was on to talk with Steve Koulias from the Power Play about his initial reaction to the news of New York offering Sakic $15 million up front in their deal.
I remember the summer of 1997. The Rangers have offer sheeted Joe Sakic. It's a 3-year deal, $21 million, $15 million up front. I remember that part. Joining us now is Charlie Lyons, the Avs CEO. The big honcho at the time joins me on the Power Play. So where were you, Charlie, when you first heard the news? Did you fall off your chair?
Well, I didn't fall off my chair, but I left my heart in San Francisco. The phone rang. It was Mark Kisla, who terrific journalist that was always sort of ahead of stories. And he said, "Hey, what do you think about the offer sheet for Joe Sakic for $21 million with 15 up front? How you doing?" Your mind goes to, he's obviously kidding. He wants something else, but he wasn't kidding. And so, it's a punch. I was getting ready to go on vacation, so that's the right time to slam somebody. And that's what it was. So I was a neighbor, my dear friend Pierre Lacroix, and collaborator, lived across the cul-de-sac. So we met at the center of the cul-de-sac, and he just gave me this look like, wow, who'd have thunk? And then, what are you going to do? What's your plan, big guy? Because that's a lot of money. 30 years ago, that kind of contract was destabilizing, to say the least. And also, Dave Checkins had done his homework, right? That they had been smart enough to, because we were publicly traded and we were a young company, he looked at the balance sheet and said, "Hey, look how much money they have in the bank. So we offer $1 more." It's going to knock their company on their ear. They're going to have to take 5 picks. So, given that he had Richter and he had, the greatest player of all time, Wayne Gretzky, and by the way, Joe Sakic's idol, that was going to be a powerful team. And having just lost Messier, he needed to do something. And so he did the right thing. He said, what the heck? There's a chance they aren't going to be able to pull it off. And at least I'm making an effort. And so I felt pretty beat up, candidly.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927. Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950. 12:30 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the New York Islanders. Flyers on XM219 Internet 940, Islanders on Internet 937. 3 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the New York Rangers. Hurricanes on XM221 Internet 924, Rangers on Internet 938. 4 p.m., LA Kings face the Colorado Avalanche. Kings on XM220 Internet 932, Avs on Internet 926, national feed on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 91. 6 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Buffalo Sabres. Panthers on XM219 Internet 931, Sabres on Internet 922. 7 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks face the Winnipeg Jets. Blackhawks on Sirius XM Channels 91 Internet 925, Jets on Internet 951. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs face the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs on Sirius XM Channels 167 Internet 946, Canadiens on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars face the Utah Hockey Club. Stars on XM220 Internet 928, Utah on Internet 947. 10 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the St. Louis Blues. Kraken on XM219 Internet 943, Blues on Internet 944. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks take on the Minnesota Wild. Canucks on Sirius XM Channels 167 Internet 948, Wild on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vegas Golden Knights take on the Nashville Predators. Knights on Sirius XM Channels 91 Internet 949, Preds on Internet 935. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927, Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950.
Hear it all on demand. Your favorite shows, your favorite games. Don't miss a second of your favorite SiriusXM programming on demand with the SiriusXM app. Download it now for free.
Mark Messier is a 6-time Stanley Cup champion. He won 5 with the Edmonton Oilers and 1 with the New York Rangers, and is the only player to captain 2 teams to Stanley Cup championships. In Edmonton, after winning back-to-back Stanley Cup championships in 1984 and 85, it wasn't until 1987 where the team would win their 3rd Stanley Cup championship. Speaking on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Messier joined Scott Laughlin for the morning skate on Sirius XM Channel 91 to talk about what it was like to win that 1987 Stanley Cup Finals series against the Philadelphia Flyers, despite blowing a 3-1 series lead and having to win it in a Game 7.
Mark, let's go back to the 1987 Canada, or not Canada Cup. That was still the Cup.
That was
but
the
1987. That wasn't Game 7, but that was an all-decider as well, as we know. But for Game 7, that was pretty good stuff. But 87 in the Stanley Cup Final, you're facing Philadelphia. You're up 3-1 in the series. They come back to tie it. Now you've got Game 7. Take us back to your greatest remembrances of, again, almost letting the series slip away and then having that opportunity in Game 7 to come up big, which you guys clearly did.
Well, it just goes to show you that we felt back in 87, we were really at the peak of that team in some ways. Some people think 85 team was the best team ever. 87, I think, was probably the most talented team. I think 85 team had a better overall record. I think it was 16-1 or 16-2 in that playoff year, 87. We got tangled up against Philadelphia, but we felt we're a better team. But sports isn't about who's a better team. It's about it's about the belief system inside the dressing room. And Philadelphia wouldn't quit. Mike Keenan wouldn't allow the young Philadelphia team to quit. They were kind of banged up. They had some injuries, but they were able to extend the series after what we thought probably should have been maybe at least 4 or 5 game series. We lost, I think, the first game, if I remember correctly, and then came back and won 3 in a row, coming home to win the 5th game. only to realize that winning the championship, even after all the experience we had, is not that easy. And then going back to Philadelphia for Game 6, and they trounced us in Philly. Now we find ourselves in the Game 7, and then once you get to a Game 7, anything can happen. You can get a bad break, an unlucky bounce, as we've seen in the past, and so everything's at stake, everything's on the line, and I think luckily for us, we were able to, really kind of rely on our experiences that we had in the past. We felt incredibly confident that if we went out and played our best game, and Philadelphia went out and played their best game, our best was going to be good enough. But even with that, there was so much uncertainty, and sure enough, we were able to win our third cup in 4 years, which was quite an incredible feat.
That was Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers, Mark Messier, on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin on Channel 91.
The PGA Tour comes to life on Sirius XM. It's your destination for everything on the tour. Hear live hole-by-hole coverage and expert analysis. PGA Tour Radio, Sirius XM 92.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927. Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950. 12:30 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the New York Islanders. Flyers on XM219, Internet 940. Islanders on Internet 937. 3 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the New York Rangers. Hurricanes on XM221, Internet 924. Rangers on Internet 938. 4 p.m., LA Kings face the Colorado Avalanche. Kings on XM220, Internet 932. Avs on Internet 926. National feed on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 91. 6 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Buffalo Sabres. Panthers on XM219, Internet 931. Sabres on Internet 922. 7 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks face the Winnipeg Jets. Blackhawks on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 925. Jets on Internet 951. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs face the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs on Sirius XM Channels 167, Internet 946. Canadiens on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars face the Utah Hockey Club. Stars on XM220, Internet 928. Utah on Internet 947. 10 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the St. Louis Blues. Kraken on XM219, Internet 943. Blues on Internet 944. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks take on the Minnesota Wild. Canucks on Sirius XM Channels 167, Internet 948. Wild on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vegas Golden Knights take on the Nashville Predators. Knights on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 949. Preds on Internet 935. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220, Internet 927. Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950.
Sirius XM has soccer covered end to end. Sirius XM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's Sirius XM FC on Channel 157.
New York Rangers legend and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91, to share what it was like to play in the 1994 finals with the New York Rangers, as well as ending the 54-year drought for the franchise and how that team represented what a hockey team is all about.
Well, look, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about 1994 as well. You mentioned Mike Keenan. We spoke with him in studio a couple of weeks ago. He still speaks so highly of you and of that run. So take us back to ending the 54-year drought. In Game 7, you get a power play goal. You shovel a puck underneath of Kirk McLean. Stands up as the game winner, as it turns out. So take us back to that hot, steamy night. What was it, June 14th of 1994 at the Garden in New York?
Just, I guess just starting, going to the rink, trying to keep your same routine. Brian Leach and I would always drive together down through Times Square, down Broadway, 7th Avenue, to take a right-hand turn on 33rd Street, and you could feel things were different, even from the Upper West Side. Just the vibe and the energy of the whole city was just electrified. Getting down towards Madison Square Garden, seeing the crowd already starting to build, the police officers surrounding the Garden. It was a carnival-like atmosphere. obviously we knew we were something on the cusp of doing something that hadn't been done in 54 years. The magnitude of it was palpable. I mean, the energy, just everything just seemed to be so electrified. You try to keep yourself in the moment. You try to stay with your routine. Obviously, there's a much more at stake. And then, we found ourselves, much like we did in 87, up 3-1 in the series, losing to the fifth game, where it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that New York Rangers were finally going to win a Stanley Cup after 54 years. Only to find ourselves, the party atmosphere got a little bit delayed and then had to go back to Vancouver, which again, we got trounced in Vancouver, just like we did in 87. And now we're coming home for Game 7. And the same thing happened. It just, we felt good about our chances. We felt we were a better team than Vancouver. We felt that we should have wrapped up the series earlier against Vancouver, but that's the greatest thing about sports. You can think all you want, but the reality is they got a heartbeat over there too. They got pride over there too. They're there for a reason, because they're a great team. And here we are in Game 7 and happening to go out and execute a great game plan to beat a very hungry, very young, very physical, hard team to play against in Vancouver. And luckily for us, we had a lot of experience. We had a dynamic, incredible amount of talent with Brian Leetch and Sergei Zubov. Alex Kovalev, Adam Graves, and Mike Richter and net, and then sprinkled in with some veterans, some hardened veterans with McTavish and Tikkanen and Steve Larmer and Noonan and Mateau and Jeff Bukaboom and Jay Wells and all the amazing players that banded together that year to create maybe not the most skilled team that's ever won a Stanley Cup, but if you look up the word team, they could put the 1994 Ranger team right there, and that year, that team epitomizes what a team is all about.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927. Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950. 12:30 p.m., Philadelphia Flyers take on the New York Islanders. Flyers on XM219 Internet 940, Islanders on Internet 937. 3 p.m., Carolina Hurricanes face the New York Rangers. Hurricanes on XM221 Internet 924, Rangers on Internet 938. 4 p.m., LA Kings face the Colorado Avalanche. Kings on XM220 Internet 932, Avs on Internet 926, national feed on Sirius XM and Internet Channels 91. 6 p.m., Florida Panthers face the Buffalo Sabres. Panthers on XM219 Internet 931, Sabres on Internet 922. 7 p.m., Chicago Blackhawks face the Winnipeg Jets. Blackhawks on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 925, Jets on Internet 951. 7 p.m., Toronto Maple Leafs face the Montreal Canadiens. Leafs on Sirius XM Channels 167, Internet 946, Canadiens on Internet 934. 8 p.m., Dallas Stars face the Utah Hockey Club. Stars on XM220 Internet 928, Utah on Internet 947. 10 p.m., Seattle Kraken face the St. Louis Blues. Kraken on XM219 Internet 943, Blues on Internet 944. 10 p.m., Vancouver Canucks take on the Minnesota Wild. Canucks on Sirius XM Channels 167 Internet 948, Wild on Internet 933. 10 p.m., Vegas Golden Knights take on the Nashville Predators. Knights on Sirius XM Channels 91 Internet 949, Preds on Internet 935. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Saturday, April the 12th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 12:30 p.m., Columbus Blue Jackets take on the Washington Capitals. Blue Jackets on XM220 Internet 927, Capitals on Sirius XM Channels 91, Internet 950.
SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio is the place for expert advice, strategy, and information from the best fantasy sports analysis to win your league. Plus, hear pick-by-pick coverage of live drafts and interviews with top players, coaches, and team executives on SiriusXM 87.
Six-time Stanley Cup champion and Hockey Hall of Famer Mark Messier stopped by SiriusXM NHL Network Radio's The Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin to discuss what Game 7 means to him and what it's like to also lose a Game 7.
Well, when you think about the two greatest words in sports, you think about Game 7 for many reasons. Obviously, to get to a Game 7, both both teams obviously very evenly matched from the literal sense, the Game 7. You don't have to be a sport fan to understand that something's big at stake and that you will go watch it even if you don't know the teams, you don't know the players, you know the backdrop, because it's the greatest form of reality TV in the world, because there is going to be a winner and a loser. A lot at stake, obviously. But for me personally, it's a lifetime journey to acquire the skill set that's required to be able to perform when the stakes are the highest, under the most scrutinized pressure, when you're expected to perform. And you think about a Game 7 moment, or a Game 7, that's when you have to perform. It's a winner or go home situation. And what are the skill sets that are required to do that? Obviously, we've practiced our game and honed our skill set for years and years and years, tens of thousands of hours of honing our skills. But emotionally, mentally, what prepares you to play in those moments and perform when you're expected to? That, I think, is what really defines a Game 7 moment for the players that have excelled in Game 7 moments. And what are those life lessons that we can teach our young boys and girls, and the skill sets required to do that? The breathing, being able to slow your heart down, and your blood pressure goes up, and your decision-making is rash, and concentration varies because of all of it. What allows you to kind of really slow down and use your God-given talent, and then obviously the repetitions through your whole life that you know you can do it. You just got to be able to do it when it matters most. It's like hitting a home run, and like Aaron Boone did, or doing something special at the right moments. And I think the educational part of the docuseries is really fascinating to me there, to help our young boys and girls who will be faced with big decisions in their life. And you don't have to be a sport fan to have a Game 7 moment in life. Everybody's faced with decisions that are going to alter the trajectory of their lives in one way or another there, and we're trying to figure out what those skill sets are.
What does it feel like to lose a Game 7?
Fortunately for me, I never experienced what the Oilers did last year, of going all the way to the end in a championship game and losing in a Game 7. Anytime you get to a Game 7, it's a hard journey to get there. Two teams, evenly matched. It's been a war. It's been a tug-of-war. Everybody's hurt. Everybody's tired. And then to lose that is devastating. I think about my own experience in Game 7, winning 7 of them. The two still hurt to this day. What could I have done different? You always say that you got to lose in order to understand how to win. I do agree with that. I think there are lessons in loss and in failure, both as a team and as an individual. If I had my preference, I would have liked to have learned those lessons while I was winning. But unfortunately, that's just not the way it is. But I look back at it now and just think about how grateful I am for all the lessons in wins and the losses, because it really ends up defining who you are as a person and as a player.
Get the latest news, opinion, and analysis from MMA to boxing and the professional wrestling world 24/7. SiriusXM Fight Nation, SiriusXM 156, and the SXM app.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM.
Greatest fans. Rising stars.
This is Matt Barzell. This is Noah Dobson.
Thrilling moments.
Oh no! Big goals! Horvat wins it in overtime!
Get ready.
Another remarkable save! Ilya Sorokin!
New York Islanders hockey starts now.
Live from the Gene Hart Memorial Press Box at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, it's time once again for New York Islanders hockey. And this afternoon, the New York Islanders take on the Philadelphia Flyers in the fourth and final meeting this season. Well, hello again, everyone. This is Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright. We thank you so much for tuning in to Islanders hockey today around the world and making us a part of your Saturday afternoon entertainment. Well, Greg, the Islanders come in at 79 points. Right now, 8 points back of the Montreal Canadiens, who hold the second and final wildcard spot in the Eastern Conference. Just 4 games remaining in the regular season. And unfortunately for the Islanders, their tragic number is now 1. So any 1 point not gained by the Islanders or gained by Montreal later tonight in Toronto at 7 p.m. will eliminate the Islanders from playoff contention. Bottom line, they must win this game today to stay alive. And the Islanders are coming off one of their biggest setbacks of the season. Thursday night at UBS Arena, they fell to the Rangers 9-2.
And not a great night for the Islanders. Most goals allowed by New York since April of 2009. It was 4-0 after the first, a 9-2 final. The bright sides, 46 shots on goal for the Islanders. That was a season high. Max Siplikov scored his first career power play goal and also became a double-digit goal scorer as a rookie with his 10th overall of the year. And Hudson Fasching scored his first goal of the season as Casey Cizikas and Pierre Engvall set him up.
About 90 minutes ago here in Philadelphia, Islander head coach Patrick Waugh was asked about his team defense, though, allowing a season-high 9 goals against to the Blue Shirts Thursday night on the island.
I'm not going to focus on defense. Yeah. We're going to focus on better puck management. Okay. That's what we want to do. Yeah. It's not just on defense. I mean, yeah, we got to do a better job breaking out as a unit of 5. We're a team that plays well when we break out together, when we're very, we play as a unit of 5, and that's what we need to do. And the same thing, if we go to at the blue line, we can't turn over pucks at the blue line. There's no defense for those situations. I told you after the game. There's no, if turnovers, there's no defense for that. I mean, it's unmanned situation. It creates automatic scoring chance, and we have to do a better job. And we talked about it yesterday. I mean, it's not something that we talked yesterday. It's something we talked all year long. But last game, it was evident that that was a problem.
That is the head coach of the New York Islanders, Patrick Waugh, whose team remains alive because Montreal lost last night 5-2 in Ottawa, keeping New York's slim playoff hopes intact. Waugh was asked about that.
Same thing. Focus on today. I mean, we have to be ready for this afternoon and find a way to win game.
Well, again, he'll go with Marcus Hogberg in goal today. He was asked if maybe Tristan Lennox gets the start tomorrow in New Jersey.
No plan yet. We'll play today, if it's okay with you.
Again, it's okay with us, Patrick. And finally, he was asked if he said anything to his Islanders after that 9-2 defeat to the Rangers Thursday night at UBS Arena.
Yeah, we had a talk, but at the same time, they're smart enough. You know what? This is a very good group. I mean, no one was happy about the game. I mean, play in front of our fans, be embarrassed like this, nobody was happy. And it's a group that cares. It's a group that works hard. And like I said after the game, we look at where we are in the standing, and we know, the last thing we want to do is let our fans down and disappoint them. So we're going to have to focus on today.
That is the head coach of the New York Islanders, Patrick Waugh. We'll take a break, and when we come back, the starting lineups and the drop of the puck for the Owls and Flyers this afternoon from Philly. It's next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Come spend the night with us. Kick back and relax with our special room packages. Get 25% off our lowest room rate and a $50 food credit with our Stay and Dine package, or 25% off and $25 free slot play with our Stay and Play package. Book today at jakes58.com. Discover the excitement you've been missing at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, close to home at exit 58 off the LIE. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrissure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.
As the official partner of the New York Islanders, Enterprise is ready to go the extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity, but at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday, because a lot can happen in a day. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move, or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
Coming up, the drop of the puck, presented by Jake's 58 Casino.
This is Casey Zizekas. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Oh, the land of the free and the home of the
That is the one and only Lauren Hart with our national anthem this afternoon at Wells Fargo Center before this tilt between the New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. Your referees are Dan O'Rourke and Francois Saint-Laurent. On the line, Chandler Alfonso and Johnny Murray. Starting lineups first for the visiting New York Islanders. In goal, it's Marcus Hogberg. On defense, Tony DeAngelo, the former Flyer, and Alex Romanov. The center is Casey Zizekas. He's got Pierre Engvall to his left and Hudson Fasching to his right. For the Flyers, Sam Ersson between the pipes, the deep pairing of Travis Sanheim and Nick Seeler. The center is Ryan Poehling. On his left, Jacob Pelletier, and to his right, Owen Tippett. Again, the fourth and final meeting of the year between the two teams. Islanders are 2-1 against the Flyers. The only game here, January 30th, Islanders won 3-0, and then New York split a pair of games on the island, beating the Flyers 3-1 on January 24th, but falling to them 5-3 8 days prior. So we are set to go here in Philadelphia. Sticks down, puck down, underway on this Saturday afternoon as the Islanders slide one in on Ersson, and he's got an early cover. New York in the visiting white. They're trimmed in blue and orange. They go left to right in this period. Marcus Hogberg in the net to our left. Philadelphia wearing their alternate thirds, the black jerseys trimmed in white and orange. They go right to left, with Sam Ersson getting a last-minute drink of water to our right.
And this is Ersson's second appearance against the Islanders this season. He was in goal for the one Flyer win on Long Island and did not play in either of the two Islanders wins against Philadelphia this season.
Again, Islanders last played Thursday night at home, a 9-2 loss to the New York Rangers. These Flyers were at Madison Square Garden Wednesday night. They beat the Rangers 8-5. So Philly, again, 4-1 under interim head coach Brad Shaw, as John Tortorella was fired on March 27th after a long slide. Flyers get a right point shot through here. Off the stick of Tippett, off the chest of Hogberg for the save, and then Sanheim the hold at right point. So again, they've won 4 of 5 under Brad Shaw, the former Islander interim head coach. And here on home ice, they're 3-0 with him behind the bench. So been a much different team than they were when they finished up under Tortorella. Winless in their final 6. Only one win in their last 12 games before Torts was let go, again with 9 games remaining in the regular season.
And that one win was just a shootout victory as well, not even a regulation or even overtime win for Tortorella in those 5-12 games.
So no score in this one, a minute in. Flyers steal the puck behind the Islander net from Adam Pelech. They go cross crease, but can't connect on the right of the paint with Konechny. Islanders bring it out the center. Palmieri right wing over the Philly line to Horvat in the right circle. He comes to the near corner, slaps it to the far. Pinching down the left wing flank is Noah Dobson, and he picks it up on the goal line. So Horvat in the trapezoid behind the Flyer net. Leaves it for Palmieri, left corner. Tried to center it for Lee in the slot, but that hit a skate. Palmieri now locks up with Couturier. Horvat takes it away to Lee. Shoots from the left circle. Blocked by Philly. Islander captain trying to get it back. He can't. Philadelphia's Michkov can't get it out, but he'll go far side for Konechny, who can. So Travis Konechny to Michkov over the Islander line. Philly changing behind the rookie as he slides it in deep in Heat 2. We'll head to the home bench. Islanders and Flyers scoreless here, coming up on 2 minutes in. It's Simon Holmstrom, cross ice to Pajot, right wing over the Flyer line. Fires, right pad save, Ersson, rebound, and he's got that too.
What a juicy rebound. Simon Holmstrom could only get a backhander on it as he was being tied up, but Ersson was able to go left to right, but that rebound was in a glorious scoring opportunity spot for the Islanders in the slot.
Simon Holmstrom comes in with points in 4 straight games, tying a career high. Nearly had a goal right there on that rebound. Flyers keep it into Islander ice here. Noah Cates on the right half boards out to the blue line. They go to Zamula at left point. He plays give and go, then whips it to right point for a shot that's wide right of the net. Along the ice, cleaned up by Pajot near side, but he can't get it out. He turned it over to Bobby Brink, who gave it away to Siplikov, and Sippy plays catch in his own end with Tony DeAngelo, and now drops it back for Tony D behind the New York net as the Islanders will change.
He mentioned he's a former Flyer. His third game as a New York Islander was in this building on January 30th. That win for the Islanders 3-0.
Islanders send a high one in on Ersson, head high as a matter of fact. He catches it, and then with pressure on the doorstep, he'll take the whistle. 17-11 to go in the first, no score.
Sam Ersson this season, 21-16-5 with 3.15 goals against and an 8.81 save percentage. To be 5 games over NHL 500 with an 8.81 save percentage for a team that's 5 games under. He's getting the run support and goal support more than the other netminders that the Flyers have used this season. They have 3 on the roster right now, and Alexei Kolosov and Ivan Fedotov as well.
And Fedotov the scratch, so Kolosov the backup today. And shot from right point by Mayfield, a stick save by Ersson. Greg, you talked about it. Ersson actually has recorded 15 of the last 18 wins for the Philadelphia Flyers. So he's become the main man in goal. And you talk about that run support under Brad Shaw. The 5 games he's been behind the bench as interim head coach, they're averaging 5 goals a game. That's the most of any team in the National Hockey League since Shaw has taken over. So Philadelphia and the Islanders scoreless here. Again, the Flyers put up a season-high 8 goals on Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden in that 8-5 win of the Rangers, but it was a much closer game. Philly actually scored 6 times in the third period. The final 2 of those into the empty net.
It was a 2-2 game after 2. The Rangers scored 3 times themselves in the third period.
Yeah, only to be doubled by Philly. Incredible third period. 6 goals for the Flyers, led by, again, the first hat trick in the career of Tyson Forster, who finished the hat trick into the empty net and also is credited with the game-winning goal in the third period. So Islanders turn it over here in the high slot. Paling stripped on a good back check by the Islanders' Adam Pelech, prevented him from getting the shot off. And now Pelech starts from in front of his own net. 4 minutes in, no score. Misses Hudson Fasching on the pass, and that is an icing. And Greg, it finally happened for Hudson Fasching. He didn't want it to happen in a loss, but Thursday night in that 9-2 defeat to the Rangers, he scored his first goal of the season.
And the Islanders as a team had 46 shots on goal, season high. Hudson had 6 of them to lead the Islanders, and that time for a career high. This is 172nd game in the National Hockey League. He had 6 shots on goal in a game against the Capitals back in January of 2023, and he matched that feat on Thursday.
It took him 39 games this year to get his first goal, as here the Flyers won a face-off. Drysdale's left point shot rang off the left post, caromed through the crease, out the other side. Luckily did not hit Marcus Hogberg, or it would have been in the back of the net.
Big screen off that face-off. A lot of bodies between Drysdale left point and Hogberg in the net. And he didn't see it until it got by him, but off the post and out.
Now Flyers turn it over in their own end, but Anders Lee can't get up to the pass in the right wing corner. Philly lifts it high in the air to center ice, where it drops down for Tony DeAngelo. Again, the Flyers long since eliminated from playoff contention. They will miss the postseason for a 5th straight year, tying the franchise record. Only other time they missed in 5 straight years was 1990 through 1994. So Philly brings it through center. It becomes a 3-on-2. Couturier over the Islander line, top of the right circle. Tried to come to Michkov, the rookie in the left circle, but the pass deflected in on Hogberg, who turns it aside. Mayfield joins the rush at center, right wing over the Philly line. He's going to slide it in deep. It rims around that roulette wheel, near side to far. Flyers are going to pick it up in front of their net. Konechny, dangerous pass to the far side, intercepted by Siplikov. Pajot for Holmstrom in the left wing corner. Again, this line had a 9-point game Tuesday in Nashville in the 7-6 overtime loss to the Predators. It's Holmstrom, right wing over the Philly line. Did he get a touch? Yes, they're going to say, so no icing. And now Andre for Philadelphia in the far corner comes back near side for Zamula. He's pressured by Holmstrom, comes up the wall, and it's sent out to center by Cates. Connects with Bobby Brink. at the Islander line. Cuts down the middle. Brink trying to split the D, but the Islanders knock it aside. Good defensive work by Ryan Pulock, who was one of many Islanders who had a very rough game Thursday in that 7-goal loss to the Rangers on the island.
And he was a -5 as the puck goes out of play, and we'll have a face-off coming up next in the neutral zone. So Pulock was a -5, as was Bo Horvat and Anders Lee. Kyle Palmieri was a -4. Ryan Pulock was actually the -4. Adam Pellick, his defensive partner, was a -5. On the flip side, something that's hard to do in a 9-2 loss where only one goal on the opposition side was a power play goal, was to go even. And that's what the Cizikas Fashing Engvall line did.
Incredible,
they
right?
Scored a goal at even strength. They were on for just one against, which again, your goal is not to go even, but when you look at that final box score and see 9-2, and it wasn't as if there were a lot of power play goals.
Islanders turn it over in their own end again, and the Flyers hit the post. This time, the back of the left post from below the goal line. That was Delurier, left of the crease. And out Philly keeps it in once again. So Flyers behind the Islander net are going to skate it to the right wing corner now. It's Carson Dorwart, the youngster just signed out of Michigan State, playing in just his 3rd game in the National Hockey League, his first here at home, still looking for his first point in the NHL.
But Patrick Roy was very complimentary of that Fashing Cizikas and Engvall line earlier today, saying that they have really been able to put in the work as of late. It resulted in Fashing's first goal of the season in Thursday's defeat.
And again, he didn't put the blame on the defense, Greg. He said it was all about turnovers. He said, you can't defend turnovers. That's what he said, and that was the big problem.
He said you completely lose your structure. You can't play your typical defensive structure when there are turnovers against, and that was the culprit for most of those 9 goals against.
Well, again, no score here in Philly. 13-13 to go in period 1 this afternoon at Wells Fargo Center. Flyers bring it over the Islander line. Fanning on a shot is Andre from the top of the right circle. Mayfield swings it around far side, connects with Pierre Engvall in front of the Islander bench. Nice little chip ahead to Cizikas over the Philly line down the middle. Left circle now for Hudson Fashing. Behind the net for Casey, but he's beaten to it by Zamula, and then Cizikas lost his stick, so he's just going to leave it there and go to the visiting bench. Flyers cross corner dumping Islander ice here. Would have been icing, but they won the foot race. But a good defensive play here for the Islanders, as taking out his man was Adam Pellick, and then he took the luggage away as well. Feeds Pulock, who gets the checkered stripe right side, rims it around on the shelf as it drops down left corner for Anders Lee. He tried to go to Palmieri, high slot, intercepted. Philly's got Michkov in on a breakaway, all alone, shoots, and he missed the net wide left. Matvei Michkov, their super rookie, an all-out breakaway from the red line in alone on Marcus Hogberg, but he missed the goal. Michkov again, left of the New York net, centers it. Romanov deflects it out of play. We'll take a timeout. 12:14 to go in the first in Philly. Still no score. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
The New York Islanders are back on the ice, and this season you can be in the stands to experience it all live. Shop a wide variety of seats for every game from Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Islanders and the NHL. And make sure you don't miss a single moment. And rest assured, if your plans change, Ticketmaster has you covered. You can securely sell your seats to other fans with just a few taps. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/Islanders.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not only be inspired to study the stars, but see them up close. Every New York lottery ticket purchased benefits New York Public Schools. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Scott Mayfield. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, the Islanders played the Flyers 3 times in January, but haven't played them since. It's been a long time. We take it back to the last meeting. It was in this building. Final seconds, Islanders nursing a 3-0 lead. Farabee left to the cage, trying to get one more shot off the horn. Sounds of the New York Islanders. Coming to Philadelphia, they beat the Flyers 3-0. They are mobbing Ilya Sorokin, who unofficially has a 24-save shutout, his 3rd of the season and 21st of his career. And for the Islanders, make it a 6-game winning streak, and they close out their best month of the season, the month of January, with a 9-3 record. Wow, seems like so long ago, Greg, but it was January 30th.
Yeah, lots of ups and downs in the interim since then. That was game 1 of a 3-game road trip. They won their next game in Tampa 2 nights later. The Tony DeAngelo overtime winner, which was his first goal as an Islander. And then the winning streak was snapped the next day, a Sunday evening in Sunrise, Florida. And the Islanders have not necessarily really been able to put together a whole lot since. They did have one 3-game winning streak not all that long ago.
Again, they've been very successful in this building, though. They've won 3 straight here. They're 9-2-2 in their last 13 visits to Wells Fargo Center. Here's Tony DeAngelo down the right flank in Flyer ice. He had a wide-open Sitlikov cutting down the middle, but couldn't get the pass through as the Flyers blocked it. Again, Michkov had that all-out breakaway. He's got 24 goals, does the rookie. Quick shot, Sanheim, right circle, save, Hogberg. Rebound loose in front of him, pulled out of there by Romanov.
Couturier got a whack at that rebound, but a right pad save from Hogberg.
And now Pajot in alone through the right circle. Tries to pass. Siplikov in the slot also tries to pass. Both tried to connect to Simon Holmstrom. Neither did, and the Islanders end up not getting a shot off.
Well, that was a beautiful stretch pass from Alex Romanov right in front of his own bench as he's about to head off the ice. And Pajot's not on his off wing, so maybe that's why he elected to pass, but still elected to give up what was a scoring opportunity for New York on a 3-on-2 rush.
So we stay scoreless here. Shots are 4 apiece. 11:15 to go in the opening period. Flyers with it in their own end, move it to Islander ice. It's Cates left wing over the New York stripe. Very close to offside. They let it go. Quick shot, right circle. Good save. Hogberg, he had no idea where the rebound was, but the Islanders got it to the near boards on that try by York.
The blocker save from Hogberg actually pushed it all the way out to the left side half board, and he wasn't sure where it was, but it was nowhere near his net. That's going to be a penalty.
Taken down here is Gatcomb in the far corner of Flyer ice, and that's going to be the game's first penalty. Let's go pick it up.
Let's go, building number 9, 2 minutes for tripping.
So it is Drysdale for hauling down Gatcomb, and it comes at 9:06 of the first period, sending the Islanders to their first man advantage. So it's time for a New York Lottery power play. Islander power play, second worst in the NHL at 12.8%. Flyers on the kill, 78%.
Islanders 2 for 9 in the season series against Philadelphia on the power play. Didn't score in this building, but it did score twice on home ice. It was actually the only loss of the season series against Philadelphia this year. That was January 16th, where they lost 5-3 and, 0 for 1 on the power play.
3 seconds into the man advantage, they are called for a trip off the face-off are the Islanders. Let's get it.
New York, minor penalty, 27, tripping.
So Anders Lee trips down a Flyer off the face-off that would have sent the Islanders to the power play, and as Greg said, in league stats, that goes down as an 0 for 1 on the power play, even though the man advantage lasted only 3 seconds.
That was Travis Sanheim, the defenseman that was taken down right in front of the far side half board. That's where Lee sets up on the face-off for Horvat. And that was pushed right between Sanheim and Lee. Sanheim just got to that puck a little bit faster than Anders Lee did. Gets his stick into the legs. And so now we'll drop the puck for 4-on-4 hockey on the opposite end of the ice. Horvat and Palmieri, the forwards. DeAngelo and Thompson, the defensemen.
Again, Michkov out there for Philadelphia, 24 goals, tied for most of all rookies in the National Hockey League with Macklin Celebrini, as it's Konechny through the left circle in Islander ice, turning it over. Palmieri trying to send away Tony DeAngelo, and he had a breakaway, but the puck jumped on him through the left circle. He fires off the chest of Harrison, and the Flyers grab the rebound.
That would have been an all-out clean breakaway, but Nick Seeler just got a little piece of that saucer pass from Palmieri, so that's why it bounced on the ice on DeAngelo, or else he would have had the breakaway from probably the center ice stripe in.
So 4-on-4, always fun as we open it up, and 3 players a little bit more, and the Islanders here try to turn it into a 3-on-1. They have it. Horvat, left wing over the Philly line, through the left circle, shoots, Harrison the blocker save, Horvat the rebound. Harrison lost his stick, but still made the stopper. Check it, not his stick, someone else's stick, and that's one of his teammates is under his left leg. That belongs to Zamula, but he still made the save to keep this scoreless now. 8 seconds from the midpoint of period 1.
Now, I'm not sure of the relationship between Bradshaw and Matvei Michkov compared to John Tortorella's relationship with Michkov, but I think if Torts was still the bench boss, Michkov would be benched for at least his next shift. That was an awful route leading to the 3-on-1 rush. It should have at worst been a 2-on-2 when the puck started to go towards an Islander stick. Instead, he just continued north and left Kyle Palmieri all by himself to go back the other direction, starting from the neutral zone.
Here, Islanders get it point blank in front, top of the paint, swatted on goal by Engvall. What a save by Harrison. And we'll take a timeout. No score in Philly, just past the midpoint of period 1. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
Long Island businesses score big with Coyote Promotions. Connecting brands with fans is our game, and we're in it to win it. From iconic giveaways to everyday branded promotional items, we turn your brand into a star player. We're local, minority owned, and just like the Islanders, we know what it takes to win. Team up with Coyote Promotions. Visit coyotepromos.com/Islanders today. Your brand, our power play. We're the true champions of the game. Don't forget, that's coyotepromos.com/Islanders.
This is Noah Dobson, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, we told you the last time the Islanders played here was January 30th. They had a 3-0 shutout win behind Ilya Sorokin, but they also had another moment that will never be forgotten by a young player. Simlikov starts at his own blue line. Nice up. McLean's got a lane through the left circle. He's got a teammate with him. Goes for a quick shot. He scores! First goal in the National Hockey League for Mark Gatcomb off the beautiful setup from Kyle McLean. Gatcomb is mobbed by all his teammates as he makes it 2-0 with his first goal in the NHL. Oh, Mark Gatcomb moment never to be forgotten.
Mark Gatcomb set up there by Kyle McLean and Max Simlikov for that goal. And for him, it was in his 7th game in the National Hockey League. He has scored 7 goals since then, but only 1 assist since that moment. It was his first point in the NHL.
And known as a Cy Young player when you have 8-1, like a pitcher who's got 8 wins and 1 loss, so he's got 8-1, 8 goals, 1 assist, does Gatcomb. Islanders and Flyers scoreless as we click under the midpoint of period 1. Another 50 seconds of 4-on-4, and then a Flyer power play for 3 seconds. Philly trying to race toward a loose puck here left corner, but Noah Cates beaten to it by Tony DeAngelo.
Engvall left it for DeAngelo on a scissor play at the point, but just a little bit too far in front of DeAngelo, and that's how Cates was able to jump it, but pushed it too far in front of himself to turn into a breakaway. He had some space all alone up the ice, but had to then play catch-up with the puck, and that allowed DeAngelo time to get back.
So Islanders start in their own end here on 4-on-4. Alex Romanov, a close look at a crowded neutral zone. Comes to Tony DeAngelo between the circles in his own end. Back skating right towards his own netminder. Finally, he plays it north for Ryan Pulock. Now to Kyle Palmieri, left wing over the Philly line. Makes a move but fell down. Zamula picked it up. Far side, played it on the wall. And Tippett for Philadelphia will start their breakout. Hounded by Horvat into a turnover. They both fell down. And Tippett got it to center ice. On the ice is Drysdale. Flyer power play. On the ice is Lee. That power play's over.
1 on the kill.
Yeah, 1 for 1 on the kill is right. So both teams essentially 0 for 1 on their power plays that each lasted just 3 seconds. And to me, Greg, that's still one area the NHL needs to clean up the stats, because that 3-second power play was the same as if the Islanders had a 5-minute power play and didn't score. It still goes down as 0 for 1.
I mean, the only way you can do it is goals per 2 minutes of power play
and that's
time.
how it should be.
That's the only other real alternative you have, because the other argument is the fact that a 5-minute major power play that you don't score on, all you do is go 0 for 1.
Right.
And it's just, it's unusual, but somebody has decided this is the best way to do it as of now.
Well, again, it doesn't level out when a 3-second power play is the same as a 5-minute power play. And again, power play goals per 2 minutes I think would be the way to do it. It'd be harder to do, but that would at least level the playing field. Islanders bring it to Philly's end. DeAngelo through the right circle to the goal line, put it through the crease, near side to far, nobody there, and then it's caromed out the center where J.G. Pajot's covering for Tony D. Islanders bring it right back in. Holmstrom, top of the right circle in Flyer ice. Simon dumps it off there for Simlikov. Backdoor, he's got a man open, hits him, going to the net for the Islanders is Romanov, backhanded. What a save by Ersson as Alex Romanov came in all alone on the weak side.
And the Flyers just didn't see him coming down from left point by himself. Perfect pass. I was surprised he didn't just take a quick forehand shot. Tried to deke to the backhand and elevated. Got a decent look off. But Ersson with a fine save. 8 saves for him. 5 on the other side for Hogberg through 12 and a half minutes of action.
So still no score as the Islanders press here to take the lead. Islanders have allowed the first goal against 49 times in a game this season. That's the most of any team in the National Hockey League. Kyle McLean holds it into Philly ice. Left wing corner, but then it was kicked behind the net. Zamula out the center, connects with Travis Konechny. Now to Michkov. Konechny and Michkov both have 24 goals to lead Philadelphia. Flyers haven't had a rookie lead them in goals since 1968-69 when Andre Lacroix finished with exactly 24 goals.
That was year 2 of Philadelphia Flyers hockey as they were part of the expansion 6 in 67-68.
Here is Michkov again to Konechny as they connect over the Islander line. Now back to Michkov. Crushed on the left half boards from behind by Scotty Mayfield, but a legal hit. Michkov slow to get up. And again, his 24 goals tied for most among all rookies with Macklin Celebrini. As here Dobson pulls it out of the pile and gets it out to neutral ice.
And Michkov was taken down as the players were exiting that pile. That's why the fans reacted.
Cates through the left circle, passes to the right. Brinkin alone shoots. Might have been off the mask of Hogberg. He makes the save. Rebound still there. Hudson Fashing to the far boards and chips it out the center.
Hogberg's making the stops, giving up some rebounds, but making those initial saves and getting some help from his defense to clear it out. Islanders just got away with too many men on the ice. Unfortunately, the puck was about 50 feet away from their own bench as they had 6 guys involved in the play for a brief moment before a defenseman recognized that there were 3 blue liners out there and darted to the bench.
And the 8 goals against Hogberg allowed to the Rangers on Thursday night, a career high for him. Tristan Lennox made a brief cameo in his NHL debut, allowed 1 goal on 2 shots. And Patrick Roy this morning not willing to commit as to who will be his goaltender tomorrow afternoon when the Islanders have a 1 o'clock matinee in New Jersey. He said our focus is on today because, again, Greg, the Islanders must win this game in any manner to keep their playoff hopes alive. And then also Montreal must lose tonight in regulation in Toronto against the Maple Leafs to keep the Isles alive. Sanheim left wing over the New York line. Forgot the luggage, then picked it up and swept it behind the net.
Sipakov thought that he was taken down by a Flyer. Looked at the referee, put his arm up.
Yeah, so we had those 2 minor penalties. 3 seconds apart and nothing since, as here the Islanders are guilty of icing. So Marcus Hogberg, Greg, after that game on Thursday night said, I never in my career had been lifted from a game and then put back in. And Patrick Roy afterwards said, guys, that's on me. I really should not have put Tristan Lennox into that situation the way the Rangers were whipping the puck around to make his NHL debut. I wanted to give Marcus a mental break, but then I saw it just wasn't the right spot for Lennox and got him out of there.
Yeah, I think it was also on Roy saying that he shouldn't have taken Lennox back out after giving those 4 minutes and 43 seconds rather than just leaving Marcus in the entire time. So it was just after the game where Roy had a few minutes to collect his thoughts and recognize, you know what, in the heat of the moment, I made the wrong decision, and he admitted that right away.
Islanders with it behind the Flyer net, tried to center it, picked off by Philadelphia. They bring it through center. Pelletier, little drop now for Zamula. Left wing for Paling over the Islanders stripe to the dot. Tried to center it. It was knocked back to him. Paling now again with a centering feed. Mayfield intercepted and jumped in. Again, Patrick Roy going with exactly the same lineup he used in that 9-2 loss to the Rangers, so no changes at all. Islanders have no healthy forwards with them, but they still do have 3 healthy defensemen who are scratched in Mike Riley, Scott Perunovich, and Adam Boqvist. So Hogberg plays it, dump in far side. Pajot swings it around near. Mayfield pressured there immediately by Pelletier, who took it away. Top of the left circle, walking in his York. That shot is blocked.
Noah Dobson right in the path of that one, not even letting it get to Hogberg.
So he stays scoreless, fast moving first. Just over 4 minutes remaining in it. Shots are 9-7 in favor of the Isles. Couturier over the Islander line, top of the left circle for Michkov. Fires and off the blocker of Hogberg into the netting. And he almost caught it off the netting and then dropped it down. We'll take a timeout. No score in Philly. 3:58 to play in period 1 on this Saturday afternoon. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Hi, this is Evan Kripel from Charles Kripel Fine Jewelry, and I invite you to experience our flagship store in Greenville. Shop our unparalleled selection of fine jewelry in every category. Looking for diamond studs? Think Charles Kripel. Looking to get engaged or for that perfect wedding band? Think Charles Kripel. How about a brand new tennis bracelet or tennis necklace? Think Charles Kripel. Do you want the perfect piece of custom jewelry? Allow our design team to make your dream a reality. Visit us on the corner of Northern Boulevard and Glen Cove Road, or visit us on the web at charleskripelstore.com.
The New York Islanders are back on the ice, and this season you can be in the stands to experience it all live. Shop a wide variety of seats for every game from Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Islanders and the NHL. And make sure you don't miss a single moment. And rest assured, if your plans change, Ticketmaster has you covered. You can securely sell your seats to other fans with just a few taps. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/Islanders.
This is Adam Pelech. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And earlier today, asked head coach Patrick Waugh about Hudson Fasching finally getting his first goal this season Thursday against the Rangers.
Well, that line's been playing very well. I mean, Casey and Pierre and him, I mean, they've been giving us some very good hockey. And I was happy to see him be rewarded with that goal. I think it's his first goal of the year, so, I mean, it's nice for him.
I also asked Waugh if he's seen any difference in these Flyers under interim head coach Brad Shaw. Again, they're 4-1 under Shaw. They had only one win in their final dozen games under John Tortorella.
I haven't really, we watch the pre-scouting and stuff like this, but they seem to play the same structure, but it's the players just played good hockey under him right now.
That is the head coach of the New York Islanders, Patrick Waugh.
And Brad Shaw was the interim head coach for 40 games after Steve Sterling was relieved of his duties in the 05-06 season. Islanders finished that year under Shaw 18-18-4. Justin, going back to the history of Brad Shaw, I learned today he was the defensive partner of Bruce Cassidy playing for the Ottawa 67s in their Ontario Hockey League days.
Get a puck out of play here in Flyer ice. And Greg, he's been an assistant all over the place as Brad Shaw, a valued assistant in Tampa with the Islanders, with the Blues, with the Blue Jackets, the Canucks, the Flyers. And again, you mentioned that stint with the Islanders. He did a good job, but the Islanders at the end of the year reset, and they brought Teddy Nolan in the next season as head coach.
He had a long stint in St. Louis.
Yes.
Immediately after leaving the Islanders, went to the Blues in 2006, was there for 10 years, leaving in 2016, and then he's been with John Tortorella in Columbus and Philadelphia.
Also talked about the fact that when Steve Sterling was the head coach, the three assistants under him were Brad Shaw, along with Jack Capuano and Dan Bilesma. All three would go on to be NHL head coaches. A pretty impressive coaching staff that Steve Sterling put together. As here we got a Flyer penalty. So the Islanders do a power play now with 3:28 to go in period one. Let's go down and pick it up for you.
Philadelphia, Martin penalty, number 9, slashing.
So second penalty of the period for Drysdale, who tripped Gatcomb earlier, this time a two-handed whack.
Yeah, that was a stick broken on the ice. Didn't quickly pick up who it was. I believe Engvall, who's trying to take a shot in the slot. Got his stick snapped in half. And so the first power play for the Islanders ended 3 seconds in. We'll see if it can last longer this time.
Well, Philly loses the face-off, and the Islanders get into the power play set. Tony DeAngelo, center point to Dobson, right point. Noah surveys the scene and still has it on his stick to Tony D above the left circle. Now to Dobson, center point, goes right circle, one-timer, Horvat, good save, Ayerson. And then with his goal stick, he swatted it to the near corner. Flyers just do get it off the stick of DeAngelo back to center on the far side.
A great saucer pass between Tony DeAngelo and Noah Dobson to get it over an elevated stick towards left point. Dobson quickly over to the top of the right circle for Horvat. Gets that one-timer look off, but Ayerson reads it the whole way. Moves post to post quickly.
Islander power play 1 for 2 Thursday and the loss to the Rangers, but a big one. It was Max Sitlikov's first power play goal in the National Hockey League. Islanders got it to Philly's end, but turned it over. Forster, the wrist shot, sends it all the way down. So Hogberg tried to slow it down behind his net, couldn't, but with Philly changing, Noah Dobson, plenty of time to start the power play breakout. Islanders approaching the midpoint of this man advantage. Horvat over the Philly line, the lead down the left wing wall. Dobson, nice keep at left point. No, they're going to say it came clear to center, and the Islanders are offside. So no score in our game. 2:26 to play in period one. Drysdale still in the penalty box for another 58 seconds.
So again, the Islanders 20% on the power play in the season series against Philadelphia, 2 for 10. They are perfect on the penalty kill, 9 for 9 against the Flyers this season.
And Greg told you that 2 power play goals for the Islanders both came at UBS Arena against Philadelphia. Horvat and Lee scored the man-up goals, and Noah Dobson still the team leader in power play points with 11. Kyle Palmieri the most power play goals for any Islander with 5, and then Anders Lee next with 4. So Philly wins the faceoff, sends it all the way down. Adam Pelech starts from behind his own net, hooks around the cage, comes north through center. Left wing to Sitlikov at the Flyer line, but again, the Islanders offside here. So right now, Greg's zone entry, their biggest problem with the power play down to 44 seconds remaining.
That game, though, January 16th, the Flyers did score a shorthanded goal. Garnet Hathaway tallied a shorty that gave the Flyers a 2-1 lead, a lead that they would never relinquish, and round to the 5-3 win.
And their kill for Philly has gone 6 for 6 in the last 3 games. Both sides of special teams have been much better under Brad Shaw than they were before John Tortorella departed on March 27th. Flyers win the face-off here, and they'll just snap it all the way down as Hogberg this time will stop it behind his net and leave it there for Adam Pelech. 2 minutes remaining in the first, no score at Wells Fargo Center. Simon Holmstrom sends it in behind the Philly net. Ayerson stays put in his crease. And the Flyers sweeping around the near boards all the way down once again. So Hogberg for Pelech. This sounds familiar. It is. As Pelech again will try the power play breakout here. That little slingshot breakout with the drop pass for Pajot. Only a dozen seconds to go in the power play. Horvat left wing over the Flyer line for Holmstrom. Back to Bow left corner to Pajot behind the Flyer net. Islanders into the set. It's late, but they have it. Pelech at center point to Pollock at right point. They crisscross at the blue line. And now they set up Pelech. Right point shot. Knocked down in front by the Flyers. Out of the box is Drysdale, and the Islanders are 0 for 2 on the power play. Still no score in Philadelphia. 75 seconds remaining in the first period. So the Flyers with it in their own end as both teams change up, get back to 5-on-5 troops. It's Konechny between the penalty boxes, backing it up into his own end. And now Zamula will look at a very structured 1-2-2 trap by the Islanders. Michkov through center, little drop pass for Konechny into the high slot in the final minute. Konechny shoots and he missed the net, getting the back glass.
He had Michkov driving to the net as well, uncovered.
It's Andre at right point in Islander ice, putting it down low. Nobody there, though, in a black uniform, only white jerseys, and Romanov took it away. Cizikas quickly through center, tried a layout pass for Engvall, but broken up at the Philadelphia line by Forster. Islanders will try again. Fashing right wing over the Flyers strike this time, sends it in deep. Beating everybody to it is Emil Andre, the young defenseman behind his net, but he gave it away. Romanov shoots left point, the save by Ersson, the rebound, unable to pop it home. Right of the crease was Engvall. And that initial shot also might have been deflected in, so good save by Sam Ersson as we're down to 20 seconds to go in a scoreless first. D'Angelo up the middle, nice pass, connects with Engvall down the slot, but squeezed off on a good back check as he and a Flyer tumble to the ice. That was York getting the job done defensively. Now 5 seconds to go in the period. It looks like Zamula is content to take it to the horn behind his own net, and that buzzer will sound, ending a scoreless first period here this afternoon at Wells Fargo Center.
We had 3 total minor penalties to that game, 3 seconds apart, short-circuiting an Islander power play that led to just a 3-second Flyer advantage on the other end of it. Jamie Drysdale tripped Mark Gatko, Manders Lee tripped Travis Sanheim, and then Drysdale went to the box again for slashing Pierre Engvall. Islanders had 1 shot on goal on their power plays. That was Bo Horvat's one-time effort. Sam Ersson's maybe his best save of the 11 that he made in the opening period. Marcus Hogberg saw 8 shots on the other end of the ice, and he stopped all 8.
I think it was an important period, Greg, for Hogberg, coming off that career-high 8 goals against, obviously, Thursday down on the island in the loss to the Rangers. And not only did he make those saves, but, again, he stared down Matvei Michkov, the young rookie, and forced him to miss wide on an all-out breakaway from the red line in.
Really came out and challenged him. Michkov tried to go blocker's side, but missed everything.
So again, the Islanders unsuccessful on those 2 power plays, one 3 seconds long, one a full 2 minutes, where zone entry was clearly the problem. They did get it set up in the final seconds, but were unable to beat Sam Ersson. So again, no score after 1 period this afternoon here at Wells Fargo Center. Unofficial shots favoring New York, 11-8.
It was Bo Horvat who led the Islanders with 3 shots on goal of their 11. Alex Romanov also had multiple shots in the first with a pair.
So again, we are going to head downstairs in just a moment to speak with one of the Islanders who had a terrific first period. And I do believe we're lining him up right now. Trying to get that for you. And we're ready to go downstairs with Pierre Engvall. Pierre, what are your thoughts on that opening period?
I think it's a fast-pacing game. Both teams are, going for it. So it goes back and forth. But, I think we got to do a little bit better job, just having them on the right side, because I think they're getting a little bit too good of chances right now.
Just on these matinee starts, 12:30, just how much different is that compared to, the traditional nighttime starts?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a difference, to have it that early, but, we gotta win all the games that's left, so we gotta, just play the right way and get the first one.
All right, Pierre, we'll let you catch your breath. Thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much.
And again, that is the big Swede, Pierre Engvall. Isles and Flyers scoreless after 1 this afternoon at Wells Fargo Center. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we come back, Greg and Corey, the Talking Owls podcast guys, they'll break down the opening 20. It's next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Islanders fans, we know that you love your hockey. That's why you follow the blue and orange all year, every year. Some might call that sort of behavior obsessive, but we prefer to call it loyalty. And we think you should reward yourself for that loyalty with an ice-cold Heineken Silver. So grab yourself the world-class light beer and toast to the Isles and your fellow fans with a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. Heineken, the official beer of the New York Islanders. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Grammy, Academy, and Golden Globe Award-winning superstar Mary J. Blige, live in Belmont Park. The For My Fans Tour, live at UBS Arena, Friday, April 11th, with special guests Neo and Mario. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. The iconic Mary J. Blige for one night only.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not only be inspired to study the stars, but see them up close. Every New York lottery ticket purchased benefits New York Public Schools. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
As the official partner of the New York Islanders, Enterprise is ready to go the extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
This is Matt Martin. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And we welcome back to Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. New York Islanders and Philadelphia Flyers with no goals after one period of play. 0-0 our score. We did have 3 total power plays, although one for the Islanders and one for the Flyers lasted all of 3 seconds with minor penalties that were traded 3 seconds apart, with Jamie Drysdale and Anders Lee both called for tripping penalties. Then Drysdale went to the box for a second time later in the period for slashing Pierre Engvall. Islanders do outshoot Philadelphia 12-8, but go 0 for 2 on the power play. 1 shot on goal on the man advantage. It was Bo Horvat, who did have a team-high 3 shots on goal.
And for the Islanders, of course, a much better start than they had on Thursday against the New York Rangers. And Marcus Hogberg also looking like he's having a much better outing since his last one. Obviously had that great save on Matvei Michkov on that breakaway early in the first period, but even later in the period had a good aggressive save on Bobby Brink. Certainly, I think, challenging a little bit more. I thought also after making the initial save on Brink off his helmet, was really alert to try to find a loose puck and get himself back in position. So he's one guy I'm sure we were all looking at and thinking, how is he going to respond after a tough outing on Thursday? And so far, I think Marcus Hogberg has looked good. The Islanders maybe a little bit loose with the puck at times in the opening period. A couple of turnovers, really more at the Flyers' blue line. I think maybe a few drop passes that didn't quite make it all the way to their intended target had led to a few Flyers rushes back the other way. But I would think, Greg, on the whole, given what happened on Thursday night, you got to be pretty happy with a scoreless tie here after 20 minutes.
Yeah, live we had said that Michkov missed the net, but they do call it a shot on goal, so they indicate that Hogberg did get a piece of it on the breakaway where he tried to beat Hogberg blocker side, but was denied. Michkov tied with Macklin Celebrini for the most goals among all rookies in the National Hockey League.
And Michkov also got a real lesson in Scott Mayfield earlier in that period, too, because Scott Mayfield, of course, wound up maybe throwing him down by the wall in the Islander zone. Michkov gets back up, and what does Scott Mayfield do? He puts him back down again, and that is kind of the game that Scott Mayfield likes to play. Very physical one, very rough and tumble, and yeah, the rookie got a taste of it on that shift.
So 0-0 between the Islanders and the Flyers after one period of play. Coming up just a minute away, we will preview the NCAA Ice Hockey Tournament's national championship game being played tonight in St. Louis between the Boston University Terriers and the University of Western Michigan Broncos. You're listening to New York Islanders Hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Hi, this is Evan Kreipel from Charles Kreipel Fine Jewelry, and I invite you to experience our flagship store in Greenville. Shop our unparalleled selection of fine jewelry in every category. Looking for diamond studs? Think Charles Kreipel. Looking to get engaged or for that perfect wedding band? Think Charles Kreipel. How about a brand new tennis bracelet or tennis necklace? Think Charles Kreipel. Do you want the perfect piece of custom jewelry, allow our design team to make your dream a reality. Visit us on the corner of Northern Boulevard and Glen Cove Road, or visit us on the web at charlescrapelstore.com.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Come spend the night with us. Kick back and relax with our special room packages. Get 25% off our lowest room rate and a $50 food credit with our stay and dine package, or 25% off and $25 free slot play with our stay and play package. Book today at jakes58.com. Discover the excitement you've been missing at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, close to home at exit 58 off the LIE. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Anders Lee, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright, back to Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA. First intermission, no score between the New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. Well, later tonight in St. Louis, it's the NCAA Hockey Championship game as Boston University takes on Western Michigan. Islanders have a lot of connections, in particular to BU, and our Scott Perez gives us a great preview in this natty preview feature.
Later tonight, the college hockey season comes to an end as the Western Michigan Broncos take on the Boston University Terriers in the NCAA Championship. There are many connections to the Isles in this game, with two of Boston University's players, Cole Yzerman and Kamil Bednarik, being Isles draft prospects. Yzerman scored to help send Boston to the championship.
Hudson, Yzerman, shot, score! 24th goal of the year for the first-round pick of the Islanders. Grew up north of Boston, and the 18-year-old makes it 2-0, Boston University.
Another BU Isles connection comes behind the bench in Jay Pandolfo. He played on Long Island during the 2011-12 season, but played most of his career in New Jersey. He scored a hat trick against the Lightning in 2007.
Here's Madden coming up with a bouncing puck into Pandolfo. He scores. Pandolfo's made it 2-0.
Shane LaChance, son of former Islander Scott LaChance, is also featured on this Boston team. Scott LaChance was a very physical player for the Isles, never afraid to drop the gloves.
Jeremy Roenick and Scott LaChance drop the gloves. And this should not be a total surprise insofar as LaChance has to be frustrated and has a little extra adrenaline tonight, I'm sure.
Terriers head coach Jay Pandolfo talked about the team's emotions headed into the championship game.
You really, when you lose, you think of everything that maybe you could have done different to help find a way to win a game. When you win, you're just so excited, right? It's just the feelings are so much different. I don't really know how to put it into words, to be quite honest with you.
Puck drop for the NCAA Championship is set for 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2 tonight. For the Islanders Radio Network, I'm Scott Perez.
Terrific work, as always, from our Scott Perez. And again, with the Islanders playing in the afternoon, plenty of time to take in the national championship game tonight, again, between the Boston University Terriers and the Western Michigan Broncos. 7:30 p.m. on ESPN2, with so many connections for the New York Islanders to Boston University, including, obviously, two big-time Islander prospects in Cole Yzerman and Kamil Bednarik. Well, this afternoon in Philadelphia, Isles and Flyers are scoreless after one period of play. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, we'll bring you an in-game sports update with all the out-of-town scores. We'll check in with Tony DeAngelo from outside the Islanders' locker room. We'll recap that opening period and start the second. You're listening to New York Islanders Hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
This is the New York Islanders Intermission Report.
With your intermission report from our Hofstra studios, I'm Emma Bigg. 10 other games on the NHL slate, 1 is in progress and 9 yet to begin. We start with the Washington Capitals in Columbus, Ohio. 2 of the league's highest-scoring defensemen, Zach Werenski and Jacob Chychrun, are battling at Nationwide Arena. Each have 20 goals. The only day man with more is Colorado's Cale Makar. After one period of play, the Jackets lead with 3-0 with goals from Werenski, Kent Johnson, and Adam Fantilli. The Rangers are in North Carolina for a Metro matchup. The Hurricanes lead the league in home wins this season at 30, and this afternoon season, they'll attempt to match their franchise record of 31 home wins set during the 2005-2006 season. Puck drop is set for 3. In Colorado's penultimate game, they head to the City of Angels to take on the Kings at 4 o'clock. The captain of the Avalanche, Gabriel Landeskog, hasn't played a professional hockey game in 1,020 days. He made his return with the Avalanche minor league team, the Colorado Eagles, logging 15 total shifts, 2 shots on goal, and even 2 penalty minutes. Eagles rinkside reporter Megan Angley asked him about the emotions he felt in his return.
Yeah, obviously some nerves. I was trying to figure out what the on-ice warm-up looks like. I barely remember what my routine used to be, but it took some time to get my legs under me, and obviously thank you all for coming. Thanks for the support.
Sound courtesy of Flow Sports Hockey. The Sabres swing down to Sunrise, taking on the reigning Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The Cats have won their last 2 and will look to continue to build momentum as they get set for the 2025 Stanley Cup playoffs. Puck drop is set for 6. Tonight's original 6 matchup features Montreal and Toronto. There are a few different scenarios in which the Habs can clinch a playoff berth if they defeat the Leafs outright, if they defeat the Leafs in OT or a shootout and the Blue Jackets do not win in regulation, or if they get 1 point against the Leafs and the Jackets lose in any fashion. A lot will be determined tonight when the Canadiens and Maple Leafs drop the puck at 7. The Winnipeg Jets travel to Chicago. The Jets have secured their place at the top of the league. If the Jets win or lose in overtime, they can clinch the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, Chicago has a lot to figure out. The Blackhawks have not made a playoff appearance since the 2020 bubble playoffs. Puck drop is set for 7. In its inaugural season, the Utah Hockey Club has failed to qualify for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Still in a rebuild, the Utah Hockey Club will look to make a few off-season decisions to bolster their roster, but tonight they're in Dallas to take on the Stars. Puck drop set for 8. Despite missing 14 games, Vancouver's Quinn Hughes has the 2nd most assists and 3rd most points among defensemen this season. Tonight, as the Canucks host the Wild, Hughes looks to record his 4th straight 60-assist season. Puck drop is set for 10. The Nashville Predators look to take on the best team in the Pacific. Puck drop is set for 10 in Vegas. Seattle hosts St. Louis tonight at 10. The Blues are holding tight to a 2nd wildcard spot in the Western Conference. The Blues are currently tied with the Wild, while the Kraken have been eliminated from playoff contention. With your intermission report, I'm Emma Big. Once again, your New York Islanders are scoreless after 1. Chris King and Greg Picker will be back with second period action from the Wells Fargo Arena after these short messages right here on the Islanders Radio Network.
McDonald's support.
Islanders fans, we know that you love your hockey. That's why you follow the blue and orange all year, every year. Some might call that sort of behavior obsessive, but we prefer to call it loyalty. And we think you should reward yourself for that loyalty with an ice-cold Heineken Silver. So grab yourself the world-class light beer and toast to the Isles and your fellow fans with a crisp and refreshing Heineken Silver. Only 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. Heineken, the official beer of the New York Islanders. Must be 21 and over to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity. But at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday, because a lot can happen in a day. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey.
This is Kyle McLean, and you're listening to New York Islanders Radio Network.
Welcome back to Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Chris King joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright. First intermission, no score between the New York Islanders and the Philadelphia Flyers. Between periods, MSG's Shannon Hogan had a chance to talk with an Islander who's a former Flyer, defenseman Tony DeAngelo.
Tony, after the last game, it was clear that you guys felt like you needed more. Did you like the way your team came out overall this afternoon?
Yeah, we were pretty good in the first. Had some chances. Thought we let them enter the zone a little too easy on their neutral zone. Thought we got to stay up a little more, try to make them dump it in. But besides that, they didn't have much. I thought we did a good job.
For you, being a Jersey guy, do you like coming to play in this building? What is it about playing here? I'm sure your family and friends that like to come watch you play.
No, I actually hate it. I've had no success in here, so it's not very good. It's one of the rinks that hasn't been too good to me, but that's all right.
All right, Tony, thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
That's great stuff from Tony D'Angelo, who will get to play in his home state tomorrow afternoon when the Islanders visit the New Jersey Devils at 1 o'clock. Again, this game is scoreless after 1. Isles outshot Philly 12-8 in the first. New York went 0 for 2 on their power play. The Flyers 0 for 1 with the man advantage. And Philly had the two best chances to score. Matvei Michkov, their super rookie, missed the net on an all-out breakaway in from the red line. And then Drysdale rang one off the left post from the left circle. Greg, you've got the super stats.
Yeah, it was Bo Horvat who led the Islanders and all players in that first period with 3 shots on goal. Pierre Engvall was the only other player on the Islanders with multiple shots. Casey Zizekas went 5-1 in the face-off circle. The Islanders, though, outside of him, went 3-7.
Wow.
On the dots.
So Casey to take the face-off to start the second period against Ryan Poehling, and another win for Zeker. So Islanders with the possession, dump it in. New York in the visiting white. They're trimmed in blue and orange. They go right to left this period with Marcus Hogberg on the goal line to our right. Philadelphia wearing their alternate third jerseys, the blacks that are trimmed in orange and white. They go left to right with Sam Ersson making a stick save to our left here on the try by Hudson Fasching. In the right circle, now Hudson left to the net in front for Engvall, who was all alone, but the pass handcuffed him and he never got the shot off.
There was some pressure on Fasching as he tried to hurry that pass into the low slot, and it was behind Engvall. Can never get it off cleanly.
I heard Patrick Waugh praise that line of late. They have been terrific. Zizekas in the middle with Engvall on the left and Fasching on the right. We mentioned Hudson scoring his first goal of the season Thursday in the loss to the Rangers. Islanders bring it over the Philly line. Here is Zizekas, left half boards, firing it wide right, held in by Palmieri down the right wing wall. He's at the half board, shoots from there, and fought off with a left shoulder by Ersson. Loose in the high slot, held in. Horvat spins and fires from the bottom of the left circle, and Ersson got a piece of that.
There were 3 Flyers that looked like they were going to get to the puck first, but Horvat just hurried up and put the pressure on them, got to it, and kept it in with some momentum here for the Islanders.
And Horvat just stole it again from Philadelphia to Lee behind the net. Right wing to Palmieri in the corner. It's picked off, and Konechny will finally flip it down the middle. Jamie Drysdale joins the rush over the Philly logo. Right wing over the New York line for Michkov. Cross ice to Konechny, top of the left circle. He's met, though, by Palmieri. Good resistance there. Drysdale held it in left corner. I believe his dump around the boards was hit down by the referee, and Pellick grabbed it for the Islanders, got to the red line, and hammered it in as it went around near side to far. Islanders cut it off on the Flyer return to the near, but then it caroms to Drysdale. Up the middle he goes, and connects with Andre joining the rush. To Konechny, right circle Islander ice. Tried to go left circle for Brink, but deflected away by Holmstrom's stick. Good pace here to start the second period. 2 minutes in, still no red lights to tell you about for either team. Flyers a steal in Islander ice.
Broke the stick of Siplikov.
Yep, he's got no stick, so Sippy defending in his own end without a stick. Flyers try to take advantage. They have Siplikov deflected, but held in by Andre at right point. Now to Noah Cates, right corner. Mayfield wrapped him up and hit that discarded broken stick of Siplikov. Sippy reaching down with his hand on his knees to try to get it out, couldn't. Flyers hold it in. Right half boards, Noah Cates. Right point now for Emil Andre. Takes a look, goes cross ice left point to Zamula. Center point now for Foster. Foster, right dot, lays it out for Cates. Stolen, though, by Holmstrom, but he can't get it out. Zamula, high slot for Cates. Right of the net for Foster. No shot there. Dobson forced him wide, and then Dobson put the wood into him. So penalty coming up on Dobson. There goes Ersson to the Philadelphia bench, and the Flyers just going to back it up to their own end here. Extra man up time on this delayed penalty against Noah Dobson.
And that is directly as a result of the broken step from Siplikov, as the Islanders essentially were in a penalty kill setup and took the penalty as a result. Have not been able to get possession of the puck for the last 45 seconds, 20 of which has been on this delayed kill.
So Flyers 6-on-5 in Islander ice until New York gets possession. Philadelphia cross ice feed. They missed the one-timer from the left dot on a wicked shot by Forster. And finally off the end boards, it's touched and controlled by Holmstrom. And we can go get the official call on this Dobson minor.
New York Islanders, Billy, number 8, 2 minutes for hooking.
So they call it a hook. 3:08 of the second period is the time. Again, the only Flyer power play prior lasted only 3 seconds. So our first full look at a Philadelphia power play on the man advantage. They're 30th in a 32-team league at 14.8%. Islanders on the kill have struggled of late. 4 power play goals against in the last 3 games, and they have the second worst man-down team in the league.
A long way to your bench in the second period when you're in the defensive zone, your stick breaks, but you always just wonder, would it make sense to take those 7 seconds, go out of the zone, get a new stick, and then try to get back to 5-on-5 as quickly as possible?
Michkov, center point shot on Islander ice, blocked in front. Palmieri takes it the other way with Horvat trying to create a 2-on-1, left wing over the Philly line. Oh, he had Horvat wide open down the middle, but Michkov intercepted his pass. Couturier through the right circle on Islander ice. Forster to the net, backhander, he scores! Power play goal for Tyson Forster. Again, he had a hat trick, his first in the National Hockey League Wednesday night at the Garden in the win over the Rangers. Nobody hotter these days for Philly than Tyson Forster, and he makes it 1-0 Flyers.
It was a 4-on-2 rush for Philadelphia, and Adam Pelech, one of the 2 back for the Islanders, collides with Francois Saint-Laurent, the referee, who's trying to get out of the way of the puck carrier initially into the zone. Forster down the right wing boards, and the only way that Saint-Laurent is able to do that is go closer to the middle of the ice. Pelech is skating backwards, doesn't see him, collides with him, he goes down, and that gives Forster a complete lane to the net. So sometimes those are the breaks that unfortunately go against you, and it leads directly to a power play goal, and it was a break that led to that power play because of the broken stick of Max Siplikov.
Incredible. When it's going against you, it's really going against you, and that's the way things have gone lately for the Islanders, as Philadelphia offside here. So I mentioned Tyson Forster, Greg. He had played 161 NHL games, had never had more than 2 goals in a game, had done that 5 times, but at the Garden on Wednesday night had the game-winning goal and then completed his first hat trick with the first of 2 empty net goals for Philadelphia. So another goal here today, give him 7 goals now in his last 6 games as Forster bumped up to the top line, taking advantage of it.
23rd overall pick in the 2020 draft, and if the Flyers had beaten the Islanders in Game 7 of the second round of those bubble playoffs, then the first-round pick for the Flyers would have gone back a few slots, and maybe they wouldn't have been able to pick up Tyson Forster's in his second full year in the National Hockey League.
So again, 4 goals in his last 2 games. This one is 6th on the power play, comes at .328, and the penalty by Dobson for hooking Forster drew the call as well. Proves costly, and the Islanders down 1-0. New York trying to get it back. Gatcomb spins, bottom of the right circle, fires. A stick save, Harrison. D'Angelo the hold at right point, behind the net, off the stick of Matt Martin to the left half boards for Kyle McLean. Philadelphia comes in hard there. Now they create a 3-on-2 in transition, bringing it over the Islander line. Down the right wing wall is the youngster Dorwart. Tried to go cross crease, but broken up in front nicely by D'Angelo.
That puck actually hitting him, I think, in the face after he deflects it, but it was okay and quickly recovered. Late developing 3-on-1 number advantage for the Flyers from the dots and lower.
Well, Philadelphia offside here. Flyers lead at 1-0 on Forster's 23rd from Couturier and Michkov at the 3:28 mark of period 2. And for Matvei Michkov now, Greg, a 60-point rookie season.
20 seconds it took for the Flyers to score on their power play, and also included a partial 2-on-1 break for the Islanders. The other direction never turned into a shot because of an excellent defensive play, and immediately led to the rush the other direction that Philadelphia does score on.
We get another whistle here on a hand pass. And, Greg, I do think Michkov will be a finalist for the Rookie of the Year, but it's, to me, between Montreal's Lane Hudson, San Jose's Macklin Celebrini. They have 64 and 62 points, respectively, although Michkov now to 60, and he is tied for the rookie lead in goals with Celebrini at 24. But to me, it's Lane Hudson's award as a defenseman, 58 assists, 64 points to lead all first-year players.
Yeah, I don't even think Celebrini has a chance at this point. Lane Hudson is doing things that have only been done by absolute legends in the National Hockey League.
Oh, and Tippett, right circle, wrister. Hogberg looked behind him, but he squeezes it to his body with his blocker and gets the call.
So as a rookie, Lane Hudson, who has helped propel Montreal into a playoff position right now, they're primed again to clinch a playoff spot, potentially even in these next couple of days or tonight, but 64 points in 79 games played. The rookie record for defenseman Larry Murphy of the Kings back in 1980-81. And the last time anybody has even hit 64 or more points as a rookie blue liner, Brian Leach in 1988-89.
So it is incredible. And again, the only hope that Celebrini has is that he's played 12 less games than Lane Hudson. So he's basically got the same point total. But again, Celebrini's a forward, and as you point out, Hudson a defenseman. Those numbers are just crazy for a blue liner as we get a puck out of play.
And those guys were teammates last year at Boston University. How did those guys not win a national championship? They
But their two brothers can do it tonight.
Yeah, that's
His
true.
two brothers, right?
They did make the Frozen Four last year, lost in the national semifinal, which is what BU won 2 nights ago against Penn State. Western Michigan won their national semifinal against Denver 2 nights ago. So it's Western Michigan looking for its first ever title, and two Islanders prospects on BU in Cole Eiserman and Camille Bednarik looking to win BU's 6th title, and would be their first since 2009.
And again, Lane Hudson's brothers, Cole Hudson and Quinn Hudson, both play for BU. So, again, I'm sure he will be watching tonight to see if his brothers can get done what he couldn't get done a season ago. So, again, Greg, I know you as a BU alum are looking forward to that game, 7:30 tonight on ESPN2. I'm looking forward to watching it as well, as not only do you have those two Islander prospects on it, but Jay Pandolfo, the former Islander, the head coach of Boston University, and Shane LaChance, the son of former Islander Scott LaChance, a player for BU as well.
I know we've talked a lot of college hockey this season, especially with your son Connor being at UMass.
Yep.
Had a pretty good year, although they just ended up shy of the Frozen Four. But for good reason, when BU and UMass, two cool schools that we are both connected to, have had excellent seasons.
And how about Cole Eiserman, though, Greg? He could wrap up a year in which, again, as a World Junior player for Team USA, won the gold medal, won the Bean Pot for Boston University.
Big deal, even though there are only 4 schools. That was a big deal.
It was, and then obviously a chance to win the national championship tonight. And he had the game-winning goal in their victory over Penn State, as John Buchagratz called it, Cole to Cole. It was Cole Hudson to Cole Eiserman for what became the game-winning goal for one of the top prospects in the Islander organization. Well, the big club, the Isles, are down 1-0 here in Philadelphia, trying to get it back. Horvat down the middle, Palmieri wide open, but he couldn't handle the hot pass off his stick blade in his skates. Palmieri fighting to keep it alive between the circles. Horvat's backhand didn't get much on it, and now it's Horvat behind the Flyer net to Lee, bottom of the left circle. That shot blocked. Kept in by Palmieri to Lee in the slot, shoots, and he missed it wide right from the left dot. D'Angelo the keep, right point. To Romanov, left point. Blocked out high by Couturier, but right to Anders Lee on the left corner. To Horvat, left dot, kicks it right point for D'Angelo. Moves it down low, right of the net for Lee. Sharp angle, backs it out. Palmieri fires, and somehow Ayerson makes the save. Oh, furious pressure by the Islanders, but New York still down 1-0 with 12:41 to play in period 2. We'll take a timeout this afternoon in Philly. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
The New York Islanders are back on the ice, and this season you can be in the stands to experience it all live. Shop a wide variety of seats for every game from Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Islanders and the NHL. And make sure you don't miss a single moment. And rest assured, if your plans change, Ticketmaster has you covered. You can securely sell your seats to other fans with just a few taps. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/Islanders.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not only be inspired to study the stars, but see them up close. Every New York lottery ticket purchased benefits New York Public Schools. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Kyle Palmieri, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, Sunday afternoon at UBS Arena, Alexander Ovechkin made NHL history, but Islanders' Mark Gatcomb, the rookie, had his first 2-goal game in the NHL. J.G. Pajot was asked about him.
Yeah, it's amazing. The first day he came in, he started asking a lot of questions, and you could see, the kind of player that he was and the kind of person that he was, and he wanted to be a good teammate. As he wanted to do well, and usually signs for that, he's asking questions. He wants to do well. He wants to be part of it, and he's a big part of that. Not only the last game, but the success that the team had, lately. And he's showing up every day with a smile on his face, working hard, keeping it simple, and that's how he's been having success, and we don't want him to change. He's a key player for us.
That is J.G. Pajot on rookie Mark Gatcomb.
The Islanders coming off one of their best, if not the best chance of the game to score. Kyle Palmieri was by himself in the slot. as the Flyers completely lost sight of him, but the pass goes off the heel of his stick. Islanders kept furious pressure going for another 20 seconds or so with that top line out there, but Ersson makes a save on a hard shot from the top of the right circle. Even though Bo Horvath was all over, and if that puck had gone in, it would have been interesting to see if the Flyers had challenged on goaltender interference, because Horvath was certainly in the crease, but not even sure if there was a lot of contact with Ersson. Moot point now as we play on 1-0 Philadelphia. 12:30 to go, second period.
So our only goal today, Tyson Forster on the power play, a little less than 3.5 minutes into this period. Philadelphia turns it over on Islander ice. Adam Pelech on the near boards. Ariel on goal, and Ersson forced to make the stick save, plays it behind the net. Zamula to the far side. Kyle McLean trying to keep it in, can't. Philadelphia 3-on-2 when he missed in transition. Flyers bring it over the Islander line, but give it away. Is good back check by Matt Martin. He was positioned perfectly and taps it back into his own end. Is Pulock to Pelech, and now to Martin, left wing over the Flyer line, bounces it off the end boards. McLean on the half boards right side, had to jump over his stick, and on it for Philadelphia is Owen Tippett. He can fly over the New York line, down the middle, try to go through the D, but good poke check by Scotty Mayfield, took it right off his blade. Here it's Engvall, left wing over the Philly line. Little drop for Hudson Fasching. To Engvall, left to the net, to the backhand. Good save. Ersson had no idea where the rebound was, but Owen Tippett got it to the far board.
Engvall tried to put that upstairs on the backhand, but from a tight angle, it's tough to elevate that puck as quickly as he would have needed to. Ended up being a left pad save from Ersson. Engvall's behind the D, but the Islanders couldn't get him the puck.
Here, Tippett in the slot, open, shoots right into the breadbasket of Hogberg, and he'll freeze it there. Still 1-0 Philly, 11:21 to go in period 2.
And so as we mentioned, the Canadiens do have a chance to officially clinch tonight, and they will do so if they win in regulation. And there are other ways that they can clinch, but that game isn't until 7 o'clock. So you said that Lane Hudson's going to want to watch his brothers today, but he's not able to do so because he'll be playing in Toronto.
He'll watch between periods. Don't know if he'll do that, but you're right. They have a 7 o'clock game in Toronto with that national championship game 7:30 in St. Louis. So maybe somebody will give him the scores between periods, but can you imagine what a night it could be, Greg, for the entire Hudson family if two brothers win the national championship and then the other one clinches a playoff spot for Montreal? Penalty here coming up against Philadelphia, and just as Hogberg gets to the New York bench, Flyers Cates gets possession, and Cizikas down behind the Philly goal. He's reaching for his face. The referee's taking a look.
It was a high sticking penalty for sure. We'll see if it's 2 or 4 minutes. This will be Cam York going to the box.
Philadelphia, minor penalty, number 8, high stick.
So just the single minor to York on Cizikas, sending the Islanders to their third power play. It's time for a New York Lottery power play. Islanders had only one shot on goal on their only full man advantage of this game.
That was a decent look. Bo Horvath from the right dot on a one-time setup from Noah Dobson, but it was one of Ersson's finer saves of this game. He's made 18 so far on 18 shots. Only 11 shots for Philadelphia in comparison.
Islander power play just 4 for 26 in the last 10 games coming in. They win the faceoff and set it up. Right circle shot is blocked by Sitlikov. And again, it's Pelech getting some rare power play time. He's been out there with Ryan Pulock on the man advantage, so that's a bit of a switch for Patrick Waugh these days. And Pelly, known as a defensive defenseman, got it to the left of the net. Sitlikov cross crease, looking to cash in was Holmstrom, but it bounced off his stick blade as Sanheim tied him up and dribbled into the glove of Ersson. So we're 39 seconds from the midpoint of period 2 today at Wells Fargo Center. Islanders down a goal but up a man for the next minute and 38 seconds.
557 games in the career of Adam Pelech. He only has 3 total power play points, and they're all assists. He has had 1 this season. That was 2 days ago. That was the one against the Rangers. That was his first power play point since 2017-18.
So they go to Pelly at right point off the faceoff, win in Flyer ice, winds it around the wall, far side to near. Philadelphia's Forster got there first, dropped it back for Sanheim, who gets the clear.
So he got an assist on that Max Sitlikov goal, which was, again, the first power play goal in the career of Max Sitlikov in the NHL.
Here is Pelly, lugging it through center, gets the red line, left side, hammers it in, rimming it from the near side of the far. Pajot trying to set up right point for Pulock, back to Pager on the goal line. Sanheim beat Holmstrom to it, but fighting it back in the near corner. Good work by Sitlikov. Philadelphia's Forster, though, got to it and sent it all the way down. So right now, Tyson Forster doing it at both ends of the ice.
A great play by him. It was Cates that Sitlikov cut off and stole the puck from in a heartbeat by just putting a shoulder into him, lifting the stick, But then Forster recognizes that his teammate was in some trouble, jumps in, and takes it right back from Simplikov.
Well, Islanders got it in, but turned it over. Philadelphia trying to get it out far side. Garnett Hathaway met with resistance in the form of Bo Horvat, and the Islanders come away with it. Dobson from right point. Winds it around far side to near. Philadelphia trying to chop it out, but Michkov turned it over to D'Angelo. Just did hold it in top of the right circle. Tony D sets it up now. Tried to go in the bumper for Palmieri. Broken up by Zamula. He left it there for Andre, who finds a seam down the middle and sends it the length of the ice.
There was a lot more space at right point and left point. He went up the middle of the ice, and that just got through the stick of Bo Horvat and Noah Dobson, who were a few feet apart from each other.
So next unit out there for the Islanders, but they only got 10 seconds to go. Dobson in the slot to Lee. Left of the net, shoots. He scores! Power play goal for the captain for Anders Lee. His team leading 29th of the season, and he has tied this game at 1.
Some tic-tac-toe passing there for the Islanders as D'Angelo, left side, half board out to center point with Dobson coming in some speed, maybe shading a little bit right of center, and nobody in front of the net protecting in front of Sam Ersson. So Anders Lee has the time and space he needs to redirect that puck home. Just slides it along the ice by the right pad of the netminder, and the Islanders strike on the power play. There were 5 seconds remaining on that York High sticking minor that Casey Cizikas drew, and each team has a power play goal. We're tied at 1.
And for the captain, Greg, the most goals now he has scored since he had his 40-goal season back in 2017-18. We told you he has gone to 28 goals, but not beyond that 3 other times. Today he gets number 29. Engvall trying to give the Islanders the lead with a left dot shot, blockered away by Ersson. And now Philadelphia's going to air it out to center here, where it's gloved down by Konechny under the big scoreboard. Sanheim looked like he entered offside, and he did. It's whistled down. 8:38 to go in the second. It's now a 1-1 game. We'll take a timeout from Philly. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
As the official partner of the New York Islanders, Enterprise is ready to go the extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
The New York Islanders are back on the ice, and this season you can be in the stands to experience it all live. Shop a wide variety of seats for every game from Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Islanders and the NHL. And make sure you don't miss a single moment. And rest assured, if your plans change, Ticketmaster has you covered. You can securely sell your seats to other fans with just a few taps. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/Islanders.
This is Bo Horvat, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, UBS Arena was built for hockey but made for music, and by all accounts, a terrific show last night from Mary J. Blige. On May 16th, Kane Brown brings his High Road Tour to the island. On July 2nd, it's brand new, the reunion tour for the emo boys from Levittown on the island, and then Chris Stapleton's All-American Road Show arrives July 23rd. Islanders have only 1 home game remaining this year, and there has been a time change on that. So again, Tuesday night, they'll host the Washington Capitals, originally on your schedule, an 8 o'clock game. It has now been changed to 7:30. So again, the Fan Appreciation Night, final home game of the year, Tuesday night, 7:30 against the Washington Capitals and Alexander Ovechkin. And for details on tickets on all of those great events, just go to ubsarena.com.
And the time was supposed to be 8 o'clock because it was given the national broadcast treatment because of Alex Ovechkin's chase to pass Wayne Gretzky. But because Ovi got there, well, my national broadcast is no longer, so MSG actually doesn't have that game to be broadcast on its network, but you can still watch it on NewYorkIslanders.com or on ESPN with Brendan and Butch.
Yeah, so Brendan and Butch are going to do what we do, Greg, in the preseason. That
exactly.
Video cast, and they're excited to do that. And, of course, you can catch our broadcast on the radio side. Fan Appreciation Night at UBS Arena, where the Islanders taking on the Washington Capitals. Is here the Islanders at 2-on-1, fashing through the right circle, fires, and fighting it off with the cheater portion of his glove was Sam Ersson.
Cizikas had to slow down for Fashing to get into the zone legally, not offside. Casey was way ahead of the play because his stick had broken on the face-off, so he had gone to the bench for a new stick, and that's why it looked like it was going to be 2-on-1. Now the Islanders might have one.
Engvall trying to create one with Fashing here through the left circle. He finds a man down the middle. That's Cizikas. Tapped it on the backhand on goal, and Ersson the save as it kind of dribbled off Casey's blade. He did all he could to get it on net, but the Islanders tied on the power play goal from Lee, his 29th of the year from Dobson and D'Angelo at 10:54, and now they look to take their first lead.
The Islanders have scored power play goals in 5 of the last 8 games now with that tally. It was 4 of 7 coming in. It was actually the first time you could say that the Islanders had scored in 4 of their last 7 games on a power play since early November. So it's been a tough year on the man advantage for the Islanders, but it's done a little better as of late.
They still have not gone 3 consecutive games with a power play goal, so a chance to do that tomorrow afternoon in New Jersey when they'll battle the Devils for a 1 o'clock matinee. So pair of weekend matinees. Lots of Islander fans here in Philly. I'm sure the same at the Rock tomorrow, and just call it the New Jersey Turnpike Road Trip, as I'm sure many Islander fans will just head up the Turnpike, maybe spend the night in Jersey tonight, and then see that game 1 o'clock at the Rock tomorrow. Here, D'Angelo's shot in flyer ice is blocked all the way down by Forster. Hogberg way out of his net to play it at the bottom of the right wing circle, and did get it to Matt Martin, left wing between the penalty boxes. Marty's going to soft chip near corner for Kyle McLean. Borderline interference there by Drysdale, who threw the body in front of him. They let it go. And now Matt Martin trying to steal it left corner. He's got it. Tries to go left to the net for Gatcomb. Carries it behind the cage. Tried the backhand wraparound, but cut off by York, who I think took a high stick. He's reaching for his face. No penalty called, as Gatcomb may have gotten away with one. And then Dobson fell down, but kept it in the Flyer zone on some excellent work.
It was down on the ice and was still able to knock it off a Flyer's stick. Kept the pressure going for the Islanders momentarily.
So Philadelphia is going to put it in the air to center ice. Glove down there by Pelech to Sitlikov, and now to Holmstrom. Left wing over the Flyers stripe. Pounds it in around the wall, near side to far. Islanders reverse it far side to near, but intercepted by Philadelphia, and they'll use the glass to get it to the Islander line. Under 7 minutes remaining in the second. Both teams with second period power play goals. Tyson Foster for Philadelphia. Anders Lee for New York were one apiece. Isles dump it in. Ayerson will play it far side. Knocked down there by Sitlikov. Right point from Mayfield, pressured, and now stolen. Ryan Poehling breaking in through the left circle. Walks in, little drop pass, but out of the reach of Pelletier. Ill-advised. Islanders try to turn it into a Holmstrom breakaway, but the pass from Sitlikov misses his stick.
Yeah, not quite Blake Como on an all-out breakaway back in that Colorado 2016-17 season as the poster child for those drop passes when you shouldn't make them, but it wasn't all that far off. That should have been a shot on goal.
Here, turning it over is Tippett. Islanders try to send away Palmieri. One-on-one against Tippett, a forward. Pops to the net. One-handed backhand. Good right pad save, Ayerson. And now the net comes flying off the moorings. We'll take a timeout. 5:57 to go in the second in Philly. It's the Isles 1 and the Flyers 1. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream.
To play their first defensive zone, we continue.
So Poehling against Horvat on the left dot. Poehling the clean win. Andre behind his net for Zamula. Cut inside of Anders Lee, and then a nice pass to Tippett, who got the red line right side and gives it a ride around the shelf, near side to far in Islander territory. It dribbles in on Hogberg, and now as he covers, we will officially go to break. So 5:54 to go in the second at Wells Fargo. Isles 1, Flyers 1. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Daily, get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not only be inspired to study the stars, but see them up close. Every New York lottery ticket purchased benefits New York Public Schools. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Casey Zizekas. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Well, last year, Kyle McLean played his first 32 games in the National Hockey League with the New York Islanders. This year, he's been with the big club from the get-go, from the start of the season. So who better to ask what's the biggest difference that he's noticed from the American Hockey League to the National Hockey League? Here's McLean.
The speed, obviously, the pace of play. Guys aren't making as many mistakes maybe as well, so the game's kind of crisp and it's tight and it's, the margin for error is a lot less. If you make a turnover or you maybe make a mistake, teams capitalize on it quick and it happens fast. So I think those two aspects are definitely tougher in this league compared to the American League.
That is the guy they call Mac, Kyle McLean.
We're tied 1-1, 5:44 to go in the second period. Flyers have only had one shot on goal in the last 9 minutes of action, as the Islanders have tied things up on Anders Lee's 29th of the year from Noah Dobson and the former Flyer, Tony DeAngelo.
And for Noah Dobson, Greg, assist number 29 as he breaks that tie he was in for the team leading helpers with Bo Horvat and J.G. Pajot. So he now leads them by 1 assist. And for Anders Lee, 29 goals, number 1 overall, 5 power play goals, ties Kyle Palmieri for the team lead in man-up goals.
And their stick broke, so right now the Islanders in that similar situation. It led to a penalty and thus power play goal against.
So Flyers miss on a pass here, though, all the way back into their own end. And that allows Anders Lee to race to the New York bench and get off. The break for the Islanders there as Philadelphia sloppy on the breakout here, but Hathaway has time with the Islanders changing to tap it back for Sanheim. Travis Sanheim to his own blue line to the red. Backhand chip near corner. It goes behind the New York net. Romanov winds it back around where it came from, up the near boards for Pierre Engvall. He's going to put some air under it, bounce it in toward Ersson. It goes wide of the goal. York hooks around the cage, is bumped by Cizikas, and then his pass intercepted at center by Dobson. Islanders send it in, Fashing to the right wing corner of Flyer ice, looking for Engvall behind the net. Now to Cizikas, right corner, gets it out to Mayfield, right point. Scotty fires, changed direction, but missed the cage through the screen of Engvall. I don't think Ersson ever saw it.
No way he did. He didn't react until it hit those backboards behind the net. He was made himself small for a shot that was coming in through a screen. Could have easily gone by him on the left side.
Islanders bring it back in down the right wing wall, but Fashing's pass for Cizikas broken up by Philadelphia. In the near corner, it's Couturier. Straight ahead from Matvei Michkov. Michkov with speed, right wing over the Islander line. Konechny down the middle of Couturier to Michkov, right corner. Kicks it out above the left circle for Andre, but he can't hold the line under pressure from Pierre Engvall, and he's got to skate it all the way back into his own end. 4 minutes remaining in the second period. Islanders and Flyers tied at 1 apiece. Andre for Philadelphia. Left corner Islander zone is the young defenseman. Centering feed picked off there by New York as Pelech springs a man, and Gatcomb left wing over the Philly line. Gatcomb fires. Ersson the save off his chest. Huge rebound, but Zamula first on it for Philadelphia. Flyers turn it into a 3-on-2 at the Islander line. Down the middle, Konechny takes the shot, and that's deflected out of play by Ryan Pulock. Still a 1-1 game, 3:37 to play in the second.
Yeah, Kim, you mentioned it early in the broadcast. Flyers going to miss the playoffs again, as they haven't been since 2020. So that was the bubble playoffs, which means that these fans in Philadelphia haven't actually seen playoff hockey in person since 2018.
Wow.
When they lost in the first round to the Penguins, who lost in the second round to the Capitals, who won their first Stanley Cup. That year, 2017-18, the home opener, Flyers scored 8 goals against the eventual Stanley Cup champion Washington Capitals. And the Flyers did not score 8 goals in a game again until Wednesday night against the Rangers at Madison Square Garden.
They're still celebrating the Philadelphia Eagles Super Bowl championship. Greg is coming in today. You see signs all around, and the link, of course, is directly across the street from this building. They've got some kind of truck show going on there today. Phillies are on the road, though, so that's good for us. We don't have to deal with that kind of traffic getting out of here. But just a great complex if you've never come down to Philadelphia and see these 3 terrific sports facilities.
Funny you mention it, the trouble getting out of here. I've been to one ever game for the Phillies at home at Citizens Bank Park over there, and it took probably about an hour to leave the parking lot after that game.
Yes, when I saw the people coming in this morning, they weren't going to Citizens Bank Park. They were going to the link, and I couldn't figure out what it was. And then Tim Saunders dug it out for me, the great Flyer radio man, that, it's some type of monster truck show going on. So hopefully less folks at that would have been at the baseball game. Islanders turned it into a 2-on-1. Holmstrom through the left circle. Oh, my goodness, he had Pajot wide open going to the net, but the pass just too far in front of his stick. Greg, if that's on the tape, it's in the back of the net.
Absolutely, and it was a 2-on-1 that kind of came out of nowhere just because of the speed of Holmstrom that led to it down the left wing side. the one defenseman back, only attacked Holmstrom, did not really take away that passing lane, just prevented Holmstrom from getting a shot. Got the pass across, but Pajot just can't get it onto his tape, or else it's 2-1 Islanders. They've been dominant in the last really 15 minutes of this second period. That has 2.5 minutes to go.
Well, Flyers flip it all the way down. Will it die short of the icing line? Yes, so good curling shot there by Philadelphia allows them to get fresh legs on. Again, the long way to the bench. Our teams in the second period as Scott Mayfield lugs it through center. Bounce pass off the near boards. Doesn't connect with either Horvat or Lee as intended targets, and instead lands on the stick of Jamie Drysdale. To Paling, right wing over the outer line, but he couldn't catch the pass. And now Horvat trying to turn it into a break over the Philly line. He's got a man down the middle. That stops and hits him, shoots. He scores! Dauber goes 5-hole on Ayerson. Took the beautiful feed from Bo Horvat. Streaked in alone, and he gives the Islanders the 2-1 lead. First of the day for New York.
I mean, how many times in the second period alone have we seen the Flyers give up potential odd man rushes that the Islanders have not been able to convert on? That wasn't a true odd man rush to start. York was back, and Horvat was the only Islander in the vicinity. But when he goes wide left, Horvat with the puck, York has to go that direction, and nobody else on the Flyers picks up the defenseman who sees an opportunity up the middle of the ice. Horvat's able to find Dobson on a nifty backhand feed through some sticks, and Dobson, as you call it, goes 5-hole for the 2-1 Islander lead. Second point of the period for Noah Dobson as he had an assist on the Anders Lee goal.
And with, again, Horvat picking up that assist, Greggy ties Noah Dobson again for the team lead in assists with 29 helpers apiece. But, boy, when you see Noah Dobson join in like that, it just reminds you of how good he was at that last year when, again, he had 10 goals, 60 assists, 70 points as a young defenseman.
He is up to those 29 assists, as you said. If he gets one more before the end of the season, he would become just the fourth Islander blue liner with 4 consecutive 30-assist season.
So Islanders have the lead for the first time today at 2-1 as they're offside at the Philly line. 2-1 Isles, 1:18 remaining in the middle stanza.
And, of course, Denny Potvin had 15 30-plus assist seasons for the Islanders. Stefan Persson had 5, and Thomas Janssen had 4 himself. So 2-1 Islanders, 1:18 to go. That goal, Dobson's 10th from Horvat and Mayfield at 17:58 of the second.
So, Greg, defensemen now have 4 points in this game. The only forwards with points are Anders Lee with a goal, Horvat with an assist, but you've got Dobson, DeAngelo, and Mayfield with helpers, and, of course, Dauber with that go-ahead goal. So Islanders with the advantage by 1 here as we come up on 70 seconds to go in the second. Philadelphia trying to get it back before intermission as it's Sealer stretching it in off the stick of a teammate. That was touched in by Delorier, so no icing as he was on his own side, or checking on the Islanders side of center when he got a piece. Final minute, Islanders up 2-1, period 2. Flyers bring it to the left wing corner of Islander ice. It's worked out there by Dorwart. That shot is blocked. Center point now for Sanheim, and that's gloved by Hogberg. Big battle, sword fight in front of the net, though. Pajot really getting into it with one of the Flyers. Trying to see who that is there as they peel off. That's Garnett Hathaway, their tough guy. But JG never backs down to anyone, even though he's given up a lot of inches and a lot of pounds in this battle. And finally, the linesmen break it up.
That'll be the first Flyers shot on goal since the 8:37 of this period. That comes at 19:16. So it had been that long, over 11 minutes, since shots on goal for Philadelphia. That's how dominant the Islanders have been in this second period, as they have scored the latter 2 goals of this frame, as Philadelphia scored the first one. But that was our first even strength goal of the game, the Dobson tally, because both the Islanders and Flyers opened up the scoring with power play goals.
And the other reason the Islanders, Greg, came to the defense of J.G. Pajot, he's still wearing that fishbowl to protect, again, that puck he took in the face recently. So the fact that, you know, he's being bothered there up high by Hathaway and he's wearing the full shield, Islanders say, hey, what's going on here? And Garnett Hathaway continued to go after him.
It was that Washington game where Tom Wilson actually grabbed a hold of that fishbowl,
yes,
which is Wilson-esque. Not what you want to see, but exactly Wilson-esque there.
All right, well, no penalties come out of it, so we're down to 40 seconds to go in the period. Islanders trying to take the lead to the break. They put it behind the Flyer net. Going to work on the forecheck right now is Matt Martin. Got it tied up there along with Mark Gatcomb and Kyle McLean, the fourth line out there for Patrick Waugh. So right now we got a 4-player rugby scrum on the end boards behind the Philly net. Islanders come away with it, though. Gatcomb on the goal line, left corner with 15 seconds. For Matt Martin, same spot. Marty kicking it along to his stick with 10. Matt Martin on the half boards, left side, left point for Pellick. Right point for Pullock. Center point for McLean with 5. Shoots, and he just missed it wide left. Might have been looking for the stick of either Matt Martin or Mark Gatcomb. Puck loose at center, and the horn sounds. Ending period 2 this afternoon at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA, with our score now, the New York Islanders 2 and the Philadelphia Flyers 1.
Yeah, I was going to be pretty proud of that second period. Outshoot Philadelphia 14-4. Outscore them 2-1. Just the only blemish being a power play goal against, where the referee did get involved a little bit too much on the play. Francois St. Laurent colliding with Adam Pelech took him out of the play, and that led to Forster's 23rd goal of the season. But Anders Lee strikes on the power play, his 29th goal of the year from Noah Dobson and Tony DeAngelo at 10:54 this second. And then at even strength, Noah Dobson's 10th of the season from Horvat and Scott Mayfield came with 2 minutes and 2 seconds left in the period.
And Greg, we were talking about it's kind of unusual these days for any team to have 2 different power play units that both have a pair of defensemen. So many teams now use 1D and 4 forwards. Some teams even use 5 forwards. But the Islanders now have 2 units, one that has Dobson and DeAngelo on the blue line, and the other one that has Pullock and Pelech on the blue line.
I think that was even, Minnesota a couple weeks ago came into UBS Arena. It was one of those teams that
5 forwards.
It was noticeable to see the 5 forwards, but obviously it worked out for the Islanders with the 2 defensemen getting assists on that Anders Lee power play goal.
So again, the Islanders were down 1-0, just shy of 4 minutes into the period, but they scored the last 2. One on the power play from Lee, one at even strength from Dobson, and they have the lead at the break.
And the only penalties in that period, Dobson for hooking, Cam York for high sticking, and the hook from Dobson came after Max Sipelkov's stick broke, so it turned essentially into a 5-on-4.5 for 20-plus seconds, with the Flyers moving the puck around and eventually leading to that penalty that turned into the power play goal. But from that point on, it was all Islanders. Flyers even went about 11 minutes without a shot on goal, from 8 minutes into the period to 19 minutes into the frame.
Yeah, unofficial second period shots right now favoring New York. 14-4 for the game. Islanders outshooting the Flyers 26-12. So they really took it over, Greg, after that power play goal by Forster.
Noah, do we have you down there?
Down here.
All right, sorry, Noah, for that. But just overall thoughts on that second period.
Yeah, obviously didn't like going down 1 early, but I thought we battled back. Our power play answered their power play goal, and then great play by Boulder at the end to find me, and big goal and big period.
Well, Don, but we were talking about that. It's a little unusual now to have both power plays with a pair of defensemen, but it's working well for you. How's that go?
Yeah, just kind of the lay of the land right now with bodies and numbers. But yeah, I feel like both groups are doing well. They scored one last game, and we got one here tonight, so got to keep building on that.
And defensively, about 11-minute stretch without even allowing a single shot on goal. What would you like from the structure in that period?
Yeah, obviously after the last 2 games, we know we need to be better defensively, and like the way we're defending here, we have to keep going here in the third.
And Dauber, congrats on the goal and the assist in the second. Best of luck in the third.
Thanks, guys.
Again, that is Islander defenseman Noah Dobson, a huge part of this game that has the Islanders up 2-1 after 40 minutes of play today in Philly. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we come back, Greg and Corey, the Talking House podcast guys, they'll break down the middle period. It's next. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
The New York Islanders are back on the ice, and this season you can be in the stands to experience it all live. Shop a wide variety of seats for every game from Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Islanders and the NHL. And make sure you don't miss a single moment. And rest assured, if your plans change, Ticketmaster has you covered. You can securely sell your seats to other fans with just a few taps. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/Islanders.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity, but at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday, because a lot can happen in a day. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move, or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
MSG Plus is now in the Gotham Sports app.
Download the Gotham Sports app today.
Long Island businesses score big with Coyote Promotions. Connecting brands with fans is our game, and we're in it to win it. From iconic giveaways to everyday branded promotional items, we turn your brand into a star player. We're local, minority-owned, and just like the Islanders, we know what it takes to win. Team up with Coyote Promotions. Visit coyotepromos.com/Islanders today. Your brand, our power play. We're the true champions of the game. Don't forget, that's coyotepromos.com/Islanders.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not only be inspired to study the stars, but see them up close. Every New York lottery ticket purchased benefits New York Public Schools. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hi, this is Evan Kripel from Charles Kripel Fine Jewelry, and I invite you to experience our flagship store in Greenville. Shop our unparalleled selection of fine jewelry in every category. Looking for diamond studs? Think Charles Kripel. Looking to get engaged or for that perfect wedding band? Think Charles Kripel. How about a brand new tennis bracelet or tennis necklace? Think Charles Kripel. Do you want the perfect piece of custom jewelry? Allow our design team to make your dream a reality. Visit us on the corner of Northern Boulevard and Glen Cove Road, or visit us on the web at charleskripelstore.com.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
This is Scott Mayfield. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
We welcome back to Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Greg Picker here alongside Corey Wright. 2-1 Islanders after 2 periods. All 3 goals for the 2 teams combined coming in that middle frame. Started off with the Tyson Forster power play goal, 3:28 in from Sean Couturier and Matvei Michkov. And then the Islanders answer with a power play goal themselves. Anders leads 29th of the season to lead the Islanders. Noah Dobson and Tony DeAngelo the assist on that goal. And then Dobson gets a tally himself, his 10th goal of the year from Horvat and Mayfield. That came with the just 2:02 left in the period. Pretty good period for the New York Islanders there, Corey.
I would have to agree with that. I'd say a lot to like there in terms of the way that they were able to outshoot and outchance the Philadelphia Flyers. Right now, the Islanders with 8 high-danger chances to just 4 for the Philadelphia Flyers, and really keeping the Flyers to just 4 shots on goal. You think about how leaky the defense has been over the past 2 games, and really not a lot there for the Flyers outside of the power play chance. Then, of course, a couple of really crisp passes there on the Islander goals. Noah Dobson finding Anders Lee at the side of the net for the tap-in, and then Bo Horvat with a pass and a half there, Greg. Just a no-look behind the back backhander through 2 Flyers, to Noah Dobson for that partial break, and all of a sudden the Islanders are getting rewarded for their effort here today with a 2-1 margin after 2 periods.
4 straight seasons of double-digit goal scoring for Noah Dobson, and this year he has missed some time as he's been limited to just 68 of the Islanders' 79 games this season. So it was 21-22 when he had 13 matches the following year. Last year, hit 10 goals, and now he's at 10 with 3 to go this year.
And I will say, obviously, a couple of highlight reel plays offensively for Noah Dobson in that period. But, Greg, I don't know if you recall when Dobson actually kind of blew a tire at the Islander blue line, and, boy, you're worried that is going to go back the other way and be an ugly one. Second effort there from Noah to get a stick on the puck, chips it back
on the ice.
Into the zone.
His whole body was on the ice and was able to reach out with this stick.
Exactly. So I think Noah Dobson right now having a terrific afternoon, which is what you want to see from one of your top defensemen. Noah having a good day here so far.
2-1 Islanders after 40 minutes from Wells Fargo Center. Coming up just a minute away, Metro Madness, the Metropolitan Division highlights of the week. You're listening to New York Islanders Hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.
Hey everyone, Adney and Burke here to talk about our great podcast, NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers.
Jason Demers here. After playing 700 NHL games, it turns out I have an opinion or two. Whoever's saying trade one of them, you don't know anything about hockey. I'm on the bandwagon. I'm rooting for this team. With new guests every week, we will talk about hockey and more.
Can't wait till you watch this movie because it's the biggest award of her career.
He went into the cheetah exhibit. The cheetah took a piece out of him, and he came into the ring the next day.
Tune in to NHL Unscripted with Burke and Demers, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is Noah Dobson, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is Chris King, joined by Greg Picker and Corey Wright, back to Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA. Second intermission, and the New York Islanders have a 2-1 lead over the Flyers. Well, the standings have never been tighter, it seems, in the Metro Division and in the Eastern Conference, as the Islanders need a win today to keep their playoff hopes alive. But each and every week throughout the season, our Ethan Poole has scoured all the best action in the Metropolitan Division and put it all into one feature that he calls Metro Madness.
With the playoffs fast approaching, let's take one last look at the Metro Division. The Islanders are still kicking, but will need help to make the dance. New York needs to run the table, and for Montreal to lose out in order to make the playoffs. On top of the Metro and of the sports world is Alex Ovechkin and the Capitals.
Wilson finds Ovechkin, top of the left circle, shoots, he scores! Ovi goes over Gretzky today on Long Island. Alexander Ovechkin, 895 career goals. It happens here in the second period on the power play, and he is mobbed in a sea of white jerseys.
Ovi watch has ended, and the Caps now turn their attention to lifting their second ever Stanley Cup. Washington clinched the East's top seed, but will need to find their form fast. They've dropped 5 out of their last 8. In Carolina, the Canes have fallen back into old habits with 4 straight losses. The defense has fallen apart, giving up 18 goals in those 4 games. The goalie duo of Anderson and Kochekov has struggled mightily lately, with Kochekov falling under a .900 save percentage for the year.
It ricochets to Pastrnak. Puck's got a little English on it. One of the Hurricanes without a stick. Pastrnak centers, deflected, and scores!
The first-round opponent hasn't fared much better lately. The injury-riddled Devils have dropped their last 2, including a 7-2 thrashing at the hands of the East's bottom team, the Boston Bruins. Thankfully for Jersey, outside of the Boston loss, goalie Jacob Markstrom has been sparkling. The depleted Devils will need a spectacular performance from him in the postseason if they have ambitions of a deep run. For the Jackets, the clock has just about struck midnight on their playoff ambitions. The dismal 3-8-1 March has almost certainly doomed Columbus to a 5th straight year of the lottery. Both Pennsylvania teams have been eliminated for some time now. The Pens have had some fun moments this year, with Crosby breaking Gretzky's record for point-per-game seasons and Rickard Rakell hit his career high in goals. Philly hasn't really had that. In a season wrought with more controversy than anything, everyone not named Travis Konechny or Matvei Michkov has taken a step back. For the New York Islanders Radio Network, I'm Ethan Poole. Sound courtesy of Nesson.
Great work, as always, from our Ethan Poole. Well, this afternoon in Philly, Isles lead the Flyers 2-1 after 2 periods of action. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, we'll bring you an in-game sports update with all the out-of-town scores. We'll check in with defenseman Noah Dobson. He's got a goal and an assist in this one. We'll recap the second period and start the third. You're listening to New York Islanders Hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
This is the New York Islanders Intermission Report.
With your intermission report from our Hofstra studios, I'm Emma Bigg. 10 other games on the NHL slate, 1 is in progress and 9 yet to begin. We start with the Washington Capitals in Columbus, Ohio. Zach Werenski and Jacob Chychrun, 2 of the league's highest scoring defensemen, are battling at Nationwide Arena. After 2 periods of play, the Jackets lead 6-0. The Rangers are in North Carolina for a Metro matchup. The Hurricanes lead the league in home wins this season at 30, and this afternoon they'll attempt to match their franchise record of 31 home wins set during the 2005-2006 season. Puck drop is set for 3. In Colorado's penultimate game, they head to the City of Angels to take on the Kings at 4 o'clock. The captain of the Avalanche, Gabriel Landeskog, hasn't played a professional hockey game in 1,020 days. He made his return with the Avalanche minor league team, the Colorado Eagles, logging 15 total shifts, 2 shots on goal, and even took 2 penalty minutes. Eagles ringside reporter Megan Angley asked him about the emotions he felt in his return.
Yeah, obviously some nerves. I was trying to figure out what the on-ice warm-up looks like. I barely remember what my routine used to be, but it's took some time to get my legs under me, and obviously thank you all for coming. Thanks for the support.
The sound courtesy of Flow Sports Hockey. The Sabres swing down to Sunrise, taking on the reigning Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. The Cats have won their last 2 and will look to continue to build momentum as they get set for the playoffs. Puck drop is set for 6. Tonight's Original 6 matchup features Montreal and Toronto. The Habs need to win outright in order to secure their playoff spot. A lot will be determined tonight when the Canadiens and Maple Leafs drop the puck at 7. The Winnipeg Jets travel to Chicago. If the Jets win or lose in overtime, they can clinch the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, Chicago has a lot to figure out. The Blackhawks have not made a playoff appearance since the 2020 bubble playoffs. Puck drop is set for 7. In its inaugural season, the Utah Hockey Club has failed to qualify for the Stanley Cup playoffs. Still in a rebuild, Utah will look to make a few off-season decisions to bolster their roster, but tonight they're in Dallas to take on the Stars, with puck drop slated for 8. Despite missing 14 games, Vancouver's Quinn Hughes has the second most assists and third most points among defensemen this season. Tonight, as the Canucks host the Wild, Hughes looks to record his 4th straight 60-assist season. Puck drop is set for 10. The Nashville Predators look to take on the best team in the Pacific, with puck drop set for 10 in Vegas. Finally, Seattle hosts St. Louis tonight at 10. The Blues are holding tight to a second wild card spot in the Western Conference, looking for a win tonight to secure their place in the playoffs. With your intermission report, I'm Emma Big. Once again, your New York Islanders lead 2-1 after 2. Chris King and Greg Picker will be back with third period action from the Wells Fargo Center after these short messages right here on the Islanders Radio Network.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrissure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Come spend the night with us. Kick back and relax with our special room packages. Get 25% off our lowest room rate and a $50 food credit with our Stay and Dine package, or 25% off and $25 free slot play with our Stay and Play package. Book today at jakes58.com. Discover the excitement you've been missing at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, close to home at exit 58 off the LIE. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
What put your team into that next?
This is Adam Pellick. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
Welcome back to Wells Fargo Center. Isles lead the Flyers 2-1 after 2. Between frames, MSG's Shannon Hogan had a chat with the captain, Anders Lee.
Level in the second period here.
I think we stayed with it. I think we had some pretty good chances in the first period. Didn't get discouraged by them putting the first one in, and a couple great plays as a result. Most lines are having some good nights tonight and creating a lot of offense down low, and we were able to put a couple plays together at the end of the period.
Sometimes that can be contagious too. If you mentioned a couple lines going, can you share what you saw out of your goal?
Oh, just a great entry. We needed that on our power play here. Kind of turned it up, and Bo and Tony had a nice little entry here. Got each other some space, and then Dauber with his eyes up, just a real heady play and puts it on the tape.
Quickly, what's your message to your team heading into the third?
Let's stay with it. Let's keep attacking. Let's keep it low and be smart with the puck. There's no need to do anything dumb out there. Just go play a simple third, play hard, and it'll be a good one.
All right, Anders, thanks so much for your time. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Shane.
And that is the captain, Anders Lee. Tyson Forster gave Philadelphia the lead at 3:28 of the second on the power play. His 25th from Couturier and Michkov, but the captain tied it. 29th of the season, 5th on the power play from Dobson and D'Angelo at 10:54. And then Noah put New York in front at 17:58 with his 10th of the year from Horvat and Mayfield. Islanders outshot the Flyers 14-4 in the second period. New York out and shooting Philadelphia 26-12 for the game. Flyers 1 for 2 on their power play. Islanders 1 for 3 with the man advantage. So we go down to center ice. Period 3 about to get underway. New York in the visiting white. They're trimmed in blue and orange. They go left to right this period. It's Marcus Hogberg playing a Flyer dump-in to our left. Flyers wearing their alternate third jerseys, the blacks trimmed in orange and white. They go right to left with Sam Ayerson tending the net to our right. So again, if you're joining us late, Islanders must win this game. Doesn't matter in regulation, overtime, shootout. They need 2 points any way they can get them to keep their playoff hopes alive. And hope that later tonight, the Toronto Maple Leafs at home can beat the Montreal Canadiens in regulation. So Canadiens, again, have a magic number of 1 to eliminate the Islanders. That Islander tragic number is 1, so any 1 point not gained by the Islanders or gained by Montreal would end New York's playoff hopes. Flyers with it in their own end. They're going to send it off the far boards and move it to the Islander line where it's taken away there by Pelletier. But again, he took a hit from Pulock, but it was Ryan who went down, but got the job done anyway, taking away the puck. Anders Lee under the big scoreboard at center, sweeps it for Horvat through the left circle in Flyer ice. Bo trying to settle down a bouncing puck, could not. Then Palmieri overskated it, and the Flyers grab it and begin their breakout. Cam York to center now, left wing over the red line, snaps it in, hugs the dasher near side to far. Cates shoots from there, and a glove save by Marcus Hogberg. We're a minute 12 into the second. Islanders up, or into the third, Islanders up a goal.
Kinger, just on a personal, going back to that national championship discussion. It's BU's first time in a national title game since 2015. That night, though, even though I had only was two and a half years since finishing up at BU, my mind was not on that game at all because it was the night the Islanders hosted the Blue Jackets at the Coliseum, the original last regular season home game.
Yes.
Islanders needed to win, get home ice against the Capitals. Blew a 2-goal lead. I think twice they blew 2-goal leads in that game. Certainly at least once in the third period. And that was all of our focus that night. Not at all on the national championship game, which BU blew to Providence that night in Boston at TD Garden.
Oh, now BU's last title, 09, is that right?
09, yep.
Yeah, 09, okay.
Brian Strait, an Islander that played on that team.
Yes, we often see Brian these days in the press box at UBS Arena. I believe he's scouting for the New Jersey Devils.
Exactly.
So, again, they're looking for their 6th title, right?
6th title. BC also sitting at 5. So
that's
big. The big comparison.
Puck out of play here in Islander ice. But the Western Michigan Broncos, Greg, a chance for their first ever national title.
And Glenn Healy, well, definitely the most famous New York Islander alum that played at Western Michigan. This was their first ever trip to the Frozen Four.
So again, 7:30 tonight, ESPN2, college hockey's national championship game in St. Louis, Missouri. So Islanders here, hope they have a winning verdict so they can enjoy watching that tonight, perhaps in their hotel rooms in New Jersey, where they'll play the Devils tomorrow at 1. Here, looked like an Islander got away with a high stick up into the face of Couturier. That whistle is not for the penalty. It's for icing against New York.
That was Kyle McLean, who may have been more of a hit that caught Couturier by surprise up high. And the fact that Couturier didn't really say anything back to McLean tells me that it's Couturier recognizing that he just wasn't ready for it, that it wasn't anything malicious.
So again, Philadelphia, when they beat the Rangers 8-5 Wednesday night at the Garden, had a 6-goal third period. Yes, 2 of them came into an empty net, but it's still 6 goals in the third period. As here off the faceoff, Tony DeAngelo getting into it with a couple of different Flyers. Konechny one of them, Michkov, the rookie, the other.
That was the one it started with. And you know what? Wonder what words in Russian Tony picked up during his half a season in the KHL this year, so maybe something that could set off Michkov.
He told us not too much, Greg. We did ask him about that earlier this year when he first came to the Islanders. He told us not a lot.
It wouldn't surprise me, though, for a North American guy going over.
Words?
Exactly. Those are probably the first things that they teach you.
Yes. Well, we'll see if anything comes of this. The officials are actually talking about it here. And I don't know if we're going to get a penalty, as they're going to go to take a look at this, perhaps. They're talking to the off-ice officials directly on the red line here.
It looks like are they moving the face-off out to the neutral zone, saying that it was the Flyers that initiated something. And you know what? Maybe because a defenseman on Philadelphia got involved in the offensive zone post-whistle scrum, that's what brings the face-off out to neutral zone.
All right, Islanders will take that. It's just outside their blue line on the near side of the ice. Again, we're just over 2 minutes into the third. Choppy start to it. Islanders up 2-1 off the face-off. Couturier and McLean have a sword fight, cross-checking each other.
So Couturier was waiting for the puck to drop again before he could go back at McLean for what was that hit on the previous sequence. So we'll see this third period. Maybe it gets a little testy. I know in Columbus it got really tested between the Jackets and the Capitals. The Jackets were up 6-0 and things got out of hand a little bit.
Matt Martin is out there at the moment for the New York Islanders, their resident tough guy, as he plays in the left wing corner of Flyer ice. He took down a Flyer with a chop to the skates there. That could have been a penalty, uncalled. DeAngelo shoots from right point, save Anderson, rebound loose, and the Flyers just poke it to the far side where Andre skates it out the center. Now finds Konechny through the left circle in Islander ice. DeAngelo gives him a rough ride into the corner boards and takes him down, and then moves it far side for Alex Romanov. Romanov's going to stop it on the goal line, and then dangerous cross-ice pass through the slot, but connected with Kyle McLean, who backs it up to his goal line. D'Angelo starts behind his net as, again, the Islanders get fresh legs out there. Crowd doesn't like that Tony D has the puck, and he's not moving it. Does to Engvall, who shoots from the left dot, and it's a blocker save by Ayerson. Islanders try to hold the zone. Engvall, bottom of the left circle, tried to cut to the backhand in the slot, but Philadelphia knocked it off his stick. Engvall and Fasching try to keep it alive. It's Zizekas right dot shooting, and that's blocked out high by Sanheim. Philadelphia trying to turn it into a 3-on-2. Over the outer line they come, but the centering pass, beautiful interception by Ryan Pulock. Quick up, so Hudson Fasching, he got sandwiched between two Flyers and taken off the puck. So Sealer lifts it high in the air to the neutral zone. Batting it down on the center circle is Ryan Pulock, who risks it in. Ayerson went for a stroll. It took a strange hop off the stanchion, but stayed below the goal line, so no harm there.
And one little extra shot from Delorier on Pulock right in front of the Flyers bench as Pulock sent that puck in on the dump and was just trying to go off the ice for a change, but Nick Delorier didn't let that happen so quickly.
Again, in the 5 games under interim head coach Brad Shaw, this Flyer team averaging 5 goals a game, the most of any team in the NHL since Shaw took over on March 28th. Islanders have held them to just one so far today, the Tyson Forster goal on the power play, early second period that gave Philly their only lead. Here's Bo Horvat through center, left wing over the line of the Flyers for Palmieri, now to Anders Lee. The captain drags it into the slot, but Philadelphia takes it off his stick, and here they come quickly in transition through the neutral zone. Pelletier to Paling, back down the middle now to Pelletier, and then backhand shoots, he scores! Jacob Pelletier slides it 5-hole on Marcus Hogberg, and with their first even-strength goal of the afternoon, the Flyers have tied this game at 2.
That ended up being pretty similar to the Noah Dobson goal, just not with a defenseman involved in the end, but puck left side half board after some tic-tac-toe passing, finds the man open in the slot, and Pelletier ends up going 5-hole, just like Noah Dobson did on the goal that gave the Islanders the 2-1 lead. But here we are, 4:29 into the third period, and Philadelphia is able to tie things up at 2 with their first even-strength goal of the evening, as Pelletier was actually traded to the Flyers while the Islanders were playing Philadelphia in that game January 30th, as word was breaking late in that contest that a deal was occurring between Philadelphia and Calgary. Andrei Kuzmenko went to Philadelphia in that trade as well. He has been dealt to Los Angeles.
Again, they came across from Morgan Frost and Joel Farabee the other way to the Calgary Flames, and so Pelletier, 7th of the season at 4:29 of the third, brings Philadelphia back to even at 2 apiece. Flyers looking to take the lead. Left point here at Zamula, playing it to the half boards for Foster. Left it off there for Bobby Brink, and out of the left corner for the third member of that line, Noah Cates. Taken away, though, by the Islanders. Pulock moved it ahead for Simon Holmstrom, left it for Pajot, and now to Pellick, who joins the rush at center. Gave it up on a back check, though, by Cates. Good work by Noah Cates to steal it, and he's got it right circling Islander ice. Worked it into the slot, still loose, but New York able to get it to the near boards. Simon Holmstrom, a little backhand chip to Siplikov between the penalty boxes. Sippy gets it in deep, and Ayerson will play it in his trapezoid with the Islanders changing. So 2-2 the score, 5.5 minutes into period 3 this afternoon in Philadelphia. Again, Islanders trying to snap a 2-game winless streak overall and a 3-game winless streak on the road. Flyers trying to win for the 5th time in 6 games under their interim head coach, Brad Shaw. Philadelphia with the puck at center, right wing over the New York line. It's Konechny hitting the brakes and then turning it over but getting it back. And I'm going to say I believe it may have touched up in the Islander bench, and that brings us a whistle. 14:09 to go in the second. 2-2 the score. The Pelletier goal assisted by Tippett and Paling at 4:29.
By the way, the Noah Dobson goal, the 50th of his career, so he becomes just the 6th ever Islander defenseman with at least 50 goals. 2 back of Stefan Persson for 5th. He is 3 back of his teammate Ryan Pulock, who has 53. Then Kenny Janssen is 3rd at 57. So very good chance that by the end of next season, Noah Dobson will have the 3rd most goals by a defenseman in franchise history.
That is crazy for a defenseman as young as Noah Dobson is, Greg. Just absolutely incredible. But again, he comes off that 70-point season last year with 10 goals and 60 assists, and he's had bursts like that this year, but just not the consistency that he had of that incredible season a year ago. So the Flyers have tied it at 2, just over 6 minutes into the third. Philadelphia in their own end just to get it out to center, and now turn it into a 2-on-1. Konechny through the left circle, shoots, left pad save, big rebound, but it wouldn't sit down for Couturier right of the crease. Islanders go 2-on-1 the other way now. D'Angelo through the right circle. He's got McLean going to the net, feeds him, Mac the backhand, what a save by Ayerson on his belly. and now more pushing and shoving after the whistle.
We will get a slashing penalty out of this that will lead to an Islander power play into break.
All right, so let's confirm for you here as we go down to center.
Philadelphia, minor penalty, 6, slashing.
So they say Sanheim slashed McLean in on the breakaway. Back with an Islander power play now in a 2-2 game with 13:40 to go in the third. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
For an extraordinary advantage in sports, you need a game plan. For an extraordinary advantage everywhere else, all you need is Acrisure. With a high-tech human approach to insurance, cybersecurity, and more, Acrisure helps you take care of what you care about. That makes winning easy. See what Acrisure's extraordinary advantage can do for you at Acrisure.com.
New York Public Schools give students a chance to dream, to play their first notes before striking a chord with the rest of the world, to learn small lessons in the gym before shining in the league, to not only be inspired to study the stars, but see them up close. Every New York lottery ticket purchased benefits New York Public Schools. Please play responsibly. Must be 18 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Matt Martin. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is head coach Patrick Waugh on the growth he's seen from rookie Mark Gatcomb as the season has gone along.
I have to admit, it's a pleasant surprise. I mean, he's got, 8 goals or something like this. He's skating well. I mean, he finishes check. He shows some consistency in this game. I'm very impressed with him. I mean, the role that he's been playing, it's exactly what we need, and he brings that physicality that we certainly could use. And last game, scored 2 goals, and he goes in those areas where it pays off.
And Patrick Waugh talking about that 2-goal game that he had against Ovi and the Caps, but Greg in a 2-all game here in Philly. Islanders to their 4th power play.
1 for 3 thus far. 2 shots on goal, including the Anders Lee tally that tied the game up at 1 midway through the second period. So huge moment here for the Islanders try to retake the lead as Sanheim sits 2 minutes for slashing Kyle McLean.
So face-off left circle in the Flyer zone, won by Philadelphia. They'll skate it out to center before turning it over at the red line on a good long reach by Noah Dobson, who now drags it back into his own end. So again, we talked to Noah between periods about that 2D set on both units. He's out there with Tony DeAngelo on this unit, and then Pelican Pollock will have the next unit when they hit the ice if the Islanders don't score here. They find DeAngelo at left point. Tony D settles it down. Right point now for Dobson in the Flyer end. Right half boards for Horvat. Bo surveying the scene, goes to the goal line to Lee, right of the cage. Back to Bo, straight on for Dobson at the blue line. Noah to Horvat, right dot. They tried to go to Palmieri in the bumper. It jumped over his stick. Horvat, top of the right circle. Back door for Palmieri, but again off the heel of his stick. Palms holds it in to Lee in the trapezoid. To Horvat on the half boards. Right side in Philly ice. He gets double teamed behind the net. Lee let it roll through to Dobson, who now crisscrosses with DeAngelo. Noah at left point for the right-handed shot. He plays catch with Lee. Noah top of the left circle. Center point DeAngelo to Noah. Left circle one-timer, and he missed the net. DeAngelo does hold it in, though, off the carom at right point. Tony D skates the center point, takes a look, drags it, feeds Horvat one-timer right circle. Good save. Ayerson sliding across to get his chest on it. Philly can't get it out. Anders Lee the hold. Bumper spot Horvat. Left circle. DeAngelo fires, and another save by Ayerson. Philadelphia trying to get it out, and no, held in. Horvat to the net. Lee point blank missed the net wide from the left of the crease. Great pressure by the Islanders. Power play down to 30 seconds to go, but this first unit still humming in Flyer ice. Anders Lee poked it into the slot. Paling finally intercepts and gets the clear.
Even though the Islanders scored a power play goal in the second period, this was a much better looking power play than that. That one really only got set up with about 15 seconds left, and they scored with 5 remaining. Last chance for the Islanders as they hurry up with 12 seconds to go on the man advantage.
And this unit turns it over at center. Philadelphia, though, bringing it over the Islander line. Forster, left circle, shoots. He drew a penalty as Hogberg makes the glove save. So a hook coming up on the Islanders. The power play only had 4 seconds to go in it. And let's confirm who the guilty party is. I think it's Siplikov. So indeed, the Russian rookie Max Siplikov on the hook. Again, 4 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey and then a Flyer power play for $1.56.
Yeah, he was the one who gave the puck away, Siplikov in the neutral zone. So in his effort to get it back, he's guilty of the hooking infraction. And so Philadelphia will go to a power play once Sanheim comes out of the box.
So 8:16, the time of that infraction in the third. Flyers have a power play goal from Tyson Forster earlier today as they have an even-strength goal from Pelletier. Same ratio for the Islanders. A Lee power play goal, a Dobson even-strength marker.
I figure Sanheim will just join the crew right on the ice for this man advantage because there are 4 forwards out there for Philadelphia.
So Islanders do win the face-off, but turn it over at the blue line. Sanheim out of the box, but no, he's going to cross over and go to the bench as Michkov has it above the left circle in Islander ice. Matvei Michkov, their Russian rookie, takes a look on the half board. Center point now for Brink. Top of the right circle, Konechny. Konechny to Brink, straight on. Left circle for Michkov.
5 forwards on the ice for Philadelphia.
How about that? That's why Sanheim went to the bench. Michkov in the bumper. Couturier center point now for Brink. To Michkov above the left circle. Matvei Michkov to the dot, now to the bottom of the circle. Kicks it out to Brink, high slot. Works it. Center point now, Konechny. Left point shot by Brink, blocked by the Islanders, and Adam Pelech to a knee, clearing it all the way down.
The fans wanted a shot. They eventually got it, and it was blocked by the Islanders out high, and that's why the Flyers never rushed to take the shot, because the Islanders were doing a great job clogging up those shooting lanes, and eventually leads to a clear as a result.
Philly again with 5 power play goals in the 6 games that Bradshaw has been their interim head coach. Under John Tortorella, they had no power play goals in their last 13 games. They were 0 for 31 when Torts was fired in the previous 13 games. So Islanders get a clear. Power play time for Philly down to 45 seconds as the Flyers skated through center, and it's Couturier, right wing over the New York stripe, playing it down to the half boards, and they're into their set. Flyers work it out, right point for Bobby Brink. He'll take a look and then play it to the half boards right side. They try to go through the seam, but deflected away by an Islanders stick. Michkov holds it in down the left wing wall, roughed up by Suzik as Konechny finds Couturier on the right half boards with 25 to go in the power play. Couturier, goal line extended right corner to Brink in his skates at right point, neatly to his stick. Michkov crosses over now to the right dot. Matvei Michkov loads the gun, saucers it to center. Brink, left circle, Konechny fires, but missed the net by a mile, and it carries off the end boards all the way back to Flyer ice, where Ersson is out to play it.
Mayfield closed down quickly on the shot there, so that's why he had to hurry, and there wasn't a lot of room to shoot at. Siplikov out of the box.
So Philadelphia 1 for 3 on their power play. Islanders 1 for 4 on the man advantage. We return to 5-a-side hockey in a 2-2 game as we pass the midpoint of period 3. Flyers behind the Islander net. Noah Cates working it out top of the right circle for Couturier. In front he has an open man. Forster shoots. He scores! Second goal of the game for Tyson Forster. His 5th goal in the last 2 contests. And Philadelphia is back on top. It's 3-2 Flyers.
Won't go down as a power play goal, but it was still within that sequence immediately following the end of the power play for Philadelphia. Just like the goal earlier in the period by Pelletier, 5-hole on Marcus Hodberg as Forster beats him low. He's in the low slot and sees an opening down on the ice as the stick of Hodberg is not making any contact with that puck. So the Islanders came into this period ahead 2-1, dominated play in the second. Could not add to the lead more than just a single goal. And now Philadelphia has a lead for the second time tonight.
And Tyson Forster, Greg, now has 8 goals in his last 6 games. He has caught Matvei Michkov and Travis Konechny for the team leading goals. All 3 players now with 24 on the season. So right now the bookend goals for Tyson Forster. He opened the scoring on the power play early second, and now past the midpoint of the third at even strength. He's got Philadelphia back in front. Again, we told you this Flyer team had 6 third-period goals at the Garden Wednesday night in their 8-5 win over the Rangers. They've got 2 more already here today, and we're just past the midpoint of the frame. So here, Gatcomb took a big hit from Sealer. Crowd reacted to that, but Mark popped right back up, goes after Sealer, and Sealer sidestepped that attempted hit. Now they whack at each other, and now another Flyer going against Gatcomb here. That's Garnett Hathaway, their tough guy. But the rookie not shying away from anybody, although Gatcomb just lost his stick, and Sealer kind of put it behind the Islander net. Islanders got a shot through from the left circle off the chest of Ersson. And finally, Travis Sanheim settles it down near side as Wells Fargo gets loud now with the home team back in front.
That was a 4th line versus 4th line shift, and now Matt Martin needs to be separated. Is that Hathaway between the benches? Yes, that the linesman has to intercede. And on the other end of the ice, there was a hit from Sanheim on Mayfield. So bodies flying here at Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah, no surprise. We get a little dust up between the Islanders and the Flyers. But right now, again, Islanders need to win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. Philly, again, has been eliminated, but are trying to stay perfect at home under interim head coach Brad Shaw. They're 3-0 in this building since he replaced John Tortorella. Romanov, right point shot in flyer ice, got deflected over the top of the crossbar, and then Philly works it to the Islander line where Alex Romanov is the lone New York player back. 3-2 Flyers, 7:45 to go in the third. Engvall over the Philly line, busting through the left circle, got a step, but then was taken down by Andre. Islanders want a penalty, none called.
Engvall went hard into the boards behind Ersson's net, but does get back up on his skates quickly.
D'Angelo has it behind his own net, leaves it far corner for Alex Romanov. Stretches it out the center, connects with Hudson Fasching. Left wing over the Philly line goes Fasching, spins off the check nicely of Zamula, takes it to the left circle, dumps it off there for Engvall. High slot for Horvat on a mixed line, but Philadelphia intercepts, and they come 2-on-2 over the Islander line. Tippett, top of the left circle, cuts into the high slot, now right circle, but good play by Pulock to force him wide, knock it off his stick, and send Palmieri the other way. Palms north over the Flyer line to the left wing corner. Paling beat him to it behind the Philly net. Played it nicely off the end board's far side for Owen Tippett, and he'll chip it out the center. Cut off at the Islander line by Ryan Pulock. Grabbed by Philadelphia's Paling, one-on-one. Down the slot, but a great physical play by Adam Pelech to poke it off his stick and then shoulder him off the play. So it stays 3-2 Philly, under 7 minutes remaining in the third. Islanders send it in deep, no icing. Sanheim hooks around his net, races up the far side. Travis Sanheim over the red, one in on the stick, one on Horvat. Shrugs him off, drops it off. Flyers send a man in the net. They missed the shot. Quick chance in tight. Forster bidding for the hat trick, and I think that got blocked in front by Noah Dobson, who's down. I believe the Islanders are headed back to the power play. Well, let's get the call. Might be the other way, Greg thinks.
Islanders number 3. 2 minutes for Heist.
Greg was right. So a hooking penalty on Adam Pelech sends Philly to a power play when we return. Flyers up 3-2, 6:28 remaining in regulation time now at Wells Fargo Center. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
The New York Islanders are back on the ice, and this season you can be in the stands to experience it all live. Shop a wide variety of seats for every game from Ticketmaster, the official ticketing partner of the Islanders and the NHL. And make sure you don't miss a single moment. And rest assured, if your plans change, Ticketmaster has you covered. You can securely sell your seats to other fans with just a few taps. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com/Islanders.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Come spend the night with us. Kick back and relax with our special room packages. Get 25% off our lowest room rate and a $50 food credit with our stay and dine package, or 25% off and $25 free slot play with our stay and play package. Book today at jakes58.com. Discover the excitement you've been missing at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, close to home at exit 58 off the LIE. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
This is Anders Lee, and you're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is J.G. Pajot on Mark Gatcomb joining the Islanders mid-season.
So it's always hard. You're not sure exactly where you're going to fit in. In the team you try to take a role and work around that role. But I think he's giving more even than that role. He's physical, brings a lot of energy. It kind of gives a little boost to the whole team when you see him play, how hard he's playing, and he's keeping his play simple. And when he has a good chance to shoot, he's got a great shot, and he's taking advantage of that. So it's not always easy to come in mid-season. You try to adjust, to the system and everything, but he's been, like I said earlier, he's asking a lot of questions, and you can tell that he wants to be part of it, and he's been a key player for us.
That is Jean-Gabriel Pajot on rookie Mark Gatcomb.
Flyers to another power play as Adam Pelech sits for 2 minutes for hooking Noah Cates. It was a Seplikov hooking penalty on Forster that didn't lead directly to a power play goal, but Flyers did score just seconds after it came to its conclusion.
Well, Philadelphia wins the face-off but turns it over. Simon Holmstrom skates it out through center, right wing over the red, over the Flyer blue. Homer into the slot, open lane, shoots, but right into the belly of Ersson. And then he alertly goes to the net to at least force the face-off in Flyer ice. So big moment here. Philly up 3-2. They go to the power play, on which they're 1 for 3, trying to add to this lead with only 6:14 remaining in the third.
Yeah, this is that 5-forward power play unit for Philadelphia, and it looked like forwards trying to play as defensemen right there. A 2-on-2 rush. Holmstrom, the left-handed shot, who has a great release down the right side. Pajot, far side. Nobody goes towards Pajot, but they still give Holmstrom so much room. He slows down top of the circle, cuts across.
Islanders win the face-off to Mayfield at right point. He's going to play it in deep Pajot trying to pick it up left half boards. Tyson Forster is out there for Philadelphia. Remember, he had no hat tricks in 161 games in the NHL before Wednesday night at the Garden when he scored his first hat trick, and today he's got a 2-goal game already, one on the power play, one at even strength. So you know the Flyers would love to set him up here as the Flyers bring it over the Islander line. Here is Forster in the high slot to Couturier left half boards, out to the blue line, Konechny left side, and out to Michkov on the right half boards. Matvei Michkov plays catch now. They got Forster in that bumper spot, but can't get it to him just yet. Brink to Michkov above the right circle. Matvei Michkov loads the gun. Now Forster drifts out high. Couturier goes backhand, forehand, jams it on net right of the paint. Save Hogberg. Rebound Islanders get it to the far boards, but not out. Held in by Philadelphia on this power play that has 50 seconds to go in it. Flyers work it behind the New York net. Couturier to the left half boards now, settling it down. Konechny out to the blue line. Michkov straight on, and now right wing corner for Couturier to Michkov on the right half boards. To the dot he goes, loads the gun to the net. Couturier between the legs pass, looking for Konechny, but it didn't connect. And now chopping it down is Simon Holmstrom.
That was maybe 6 inches out of the reach of Konechny. If it gets onto his tape, it is a sure goal as Hogberg is protecting the far side of the net where Couturier is. And Konechny would have had an empty net situation to look at on the near side.
So second unit out there for interim head coach Brad Shaw. They've only got 20 seconds of power play time to go. Tip it into Islander ice, bottom of the left circle. Out to the blue line now. Drysdale at center point. Takes a look. Loads the gun. Snaps a shot. Deflected wide of the net. Held in. Sanheim right wing corner. Plays catch with Poehling. Now to Poehling behind the New York goal. Ryan Poehling trying to go back to Sanheim. Bottom of the right circle. Straight on Drysdale to Poehling. Bottom of the right circle. Through the crease. Out of the box is Pelech. Islanders get through a monster kill as Phillies now 1 for 4 on their power play. Flyers lead it 3-2, 4:15 remaining in regulation time.
Both teams 1 for 4 in the man advantage this afternoon.
D'Angelo, a slapper, top of the right circle, down on a Anita block at Sealer. Islanders hold it in. Tony D, left half board, straight on. Romanov. Shooting lane taken away, so he just fires it wide left, looking for a deflection. Horvat was there, couldn't get a piece. Boaz the biscuit, though, left corner. Left point for Romanov. Shoots it wide left to Fasching behind the net. Tried to find Horvat at the left dot, but it went his stick, and now the Flyers turn it into a 2-on-1. Pelletier through the left circle, in deep, shoots. What a save this time. Hogberg closing up the 5-hole. That Pelletier slid it through for a goal earlier in this period.
2 of the 3 Flyers goals have gone 5-holes, so that's why he was looking for the 5-hole the whole time down the ice.
Pelletier again. Left half boards here, leaves it for Sanheim, curling out to left point. 3.5 minutes to go in regulation. Islanders down a goal. Sanheim behind the New York net, rolled off the stick of York. Good physical play by D'Angelo to bump him off it, and then Tony flips it out to center. It's a 1-on-1 now. Engvall, as he curls above the right circle, has Fasching going in the net. Pierre changes directions down the right wing wall, but blew a tire and fell down.
Oh, he's in pain. Oh, that's not good for Pierre.
And he's hurt, and it's a 3-on-2 for the Flyers the other way. Engvall on his knees. Referee sees the Islanders gain possession and now blows it down, and Pierre Engvall on the ice, again on his elbows and his knees right now, but it looks like a left knee problem for Pierre Engvall. And trainer Damien Hess out to attend, Greg.
I think non-contact, too.
I think he just tried to make that cut, right? And we saw that. I said he blew a tire as the skate gave out from underneath him. You're right. I don't believe there was any contact involved.
And that sometimes is when you fear the worst. And there's a conversation right now between the captains and the officials because the Flyers, I think they didn't want the whistle to go, but the Islanders did have possession of the puck. So that was absolutely the correct call. And Engvall has not even been able to get on his skates yet, and he's going to need some assistance from Matt Martin on one shoulder, Damien Hess, Islanders trainer, on the other. God.
Yep. So, again, the Flyer fans do give him a nice hand. Right now, Greg, it is all the weight on the right leg and the left leg up in the air as Pierre Engvall, as you said, with a trainer and a teammate under each arm, heading off the ice here with 3:04 to go in the third. Islanders must win this game to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're down 3-2 as Engvall is led off the ice, and we'll take a timeout. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
Long Island businesses, score big with Coyote Promotions. Connecting brands with fans is our game, and we're in it to win it. From iconic giveaways to everyday branded promotional items, we turn your brand into a star player. We're local, minority-owned, and just like the Islanders, we know what it takes to win. Team up with Coyote Promotions. Visit coyotepromos.com/Islanders today. Your brand, our power play. We're the true champions of the game. Don't forget, that's coyotepromos.com/Islanders.
This is Ryan Pollock. You're listening to the New York Islanders Radio Network.
And this is Kyle McLean when asked how rookie Mark Gatcomb has adjusted off the ice so far.
Yeah, well, we have a great room here with guys that have done it for so long. So I think, they help me. They're still helping me, and obviously helping Mark too. Just feel comfortable and integrate in, be a part of it, and learn a lot. So I think it's a testament to a lot of the older guys on our team who are showing us the way.
Well, McLean was asked what veterans helped him the most last year.
Yeah, a lot of guys. You got Palms right here to my left. He definitely helps. Leezy, he's a great captain, great leader. But a lot of, I can't name them all, but all those guys that have been around for a while and been Islanders for a while really helped out.
That is Kyle McLean.
3 minutes and 4 seconds left to save the season for the New York Islanders. They need every single point the rest of the way. 4 games to go, including this one. And if they do not win this afternoon, they cannot make the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Flyers win a right circle draw to Michkov in the shooting hole. His wrist shot gloved by Marcus Hogberg. They'll drop it to the big Swedes left once again.
So 3:03 to go. Only 1 second comes off the clock there. And the Islanders did lead 2-1 going into this third. That second period was one of their better periods in quite some time. Absolutely dominated play, but only had a 1-goal lead to show for it. And the Flyers came out strong here in the third.
The Islanders outshot Philly in the middle stanza 14-4. Here's Pollock on a steal down the slot. There goes Hogberg. Empty net for the Islanders with just under 3 minutes to go, down a goal. Off the bench, they try to connect with Gatcomb, who missed the pass. Luckily, it came all the way into Islander territory, but on the near wall, or that could have been an own goal situation for New York.
That just clicked under his stick at center point. He was open as he was, again, the guy fresh off the bench, so 2:28 to go. 3-2 Philadelphia, empty net for the Islanders.
It tells you what Patrick Waugh thinks of the rookie Mark Gatcomb, right, Greg? He's out there in a must-win game with 2:20 to go, and Gatcomb brings it over the Philly line. Down the wall he goes, plays it around the perimeter to Siplikov in the right corner. Again, Islanders skating 6-on-5 with an empty net. Down a goal here as we come up on 2 minutes to go. D'Angelo turned it over in the neutral zone. Michkov for the empty net, and he hit the outside of the left post. So by the slimmest of margins, the Islanders' season is still alive. Siplikov out of his own end, right side over the checkered stripe, goes in front of the benches, but just getting to it where the Islanders now. Philly takes it away. Forster, he's already got 2, trying to shoot for the empty net. It's blocked. Tyson Forster, right circle, stripped by Noah Dobson with 1:45 to go.
The Islanders were changing. Siplikov had possession of the puck in the neutral zone. 4 players were surrounding him.
Islanders turned it over in the neutral zone, but Lee got it back as we click under 100 seconds to go in regulation time. Islanders down 3-2. Tony D'Angelo, the former Flyer, here's the booze, and then put it off the stick of Hudson Fasching, left of the Philly net. Zamula hammers it up the near side and dribbled it out to center. So Noah Dobson's got to start again in Islander ice as we come up on 75 seconds to go. Philadelphia 3, New York 2. Dobson over the red line. Passes down the left wing wall, connects with Hudson Fasching. To the left wing corner he goes, wrapped up there by Sealer. Islanders keep it alive to D'Angelo at right point. Flips it above the right circle for Bo Horvat. Shoots off a stick. They score! Bo Horvat bangs it home from the top of the right circle. And the Islanders have tied this game at 3 with exactly 1 minute to go in regulation time.
He didn't touch the puck, but Anders Lee sets the crucial screen. And it was about 1 minute and 20 seconds of the Islanders just trying to get things set up. And they couldn't do so, couldn't even enter the zone. It finally is able to be a 6-on-5 attacking situation. D'Angelo at center point, a little just backhand drop pass over to the right side for Horvat. Takes it to the top of the right circle. Sees that screen of Lee, taking away the eyes of Harrison. Keeps the shot low. It beats the netminder, and the Islanders tie it up with 61 seconds left in this third period, all square at 3.
So again, no exaggeration to say the most important goal of the season right there for Bo Horvat as they put 1 second back on the clock. So officially at 18:59. Hogberg back in. It's a 3-3 game. Again, Islanders can win in any manner, but they must win to keep their playoff hopes alive. Regulation, overtime, or shootout will do. Islanders set it up behind the Philly net. Fashing trying to center it, blocked. Now we try to wrap around. Blocked at the right post, down on the knees was Ayerson. Philadelphia races it through center. Here's Tippett through the right circle, dragging it to the net. Backhanded Hogberg the stop, and he'll cover it with his glove. 3-3 the score, 34.4 seconds remaining in period 3 as Bo Horvat, against 27th of the year, gets New York even.
Well, 3 of the last 4 for the Islanders would have to be in regulation, though. So just based off the tiebreaker, because the Canadiens have 29 regulation wins, the Islanders have 27. Then that second tiebreaker is regulation or overtime wins, and the Canadiens have 37, the Islanders have 32. So if you can somehow pull this off with 34 seconds left, the regulation would be even more crucial than just 2 points, which would keep things alive, but make it a tougher task.
Well, Islanders bring it left wing over the Philly line. Holmstrom, though, beaten by Zamula. Backing him up was Pajot. Backhands it behind the net. Finds Siplikov. Try to wrap around off the outside of the right post. 20 seconds to go. 3-3 the score. Still in the Flyer end. They turn it over. Pajot for Siplikov. He's open at right point. Takes a look. Goes center point. The blast by D'Angelo. Blocked painfully by Forster. Down to a knee. But deflected it back to the Islander line. Now with 5 seconds to go. Puck loose. A Flyer fell down at center. That's Forster. And this afternoon at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA, 60 minutes is not enough to decide it. We'll go to overtime in a 3-3 game.
Now the Islanders outscore the Flyers 2-1 in the second. The Flyers outscore the Islanders 2-1 in the third. But Bo Horvat's 27th of the season from Tony DeAngelo and Anders Lee tie things up with 1:01 left in that third period after the Flyers had scored twice to go from 2-1 down to 3-2 up on Pelletier's 7th of the season and Forster's 24th. Matvei Michkov had a look at the empty net, hits the side of the net, and that kept this game alive for the Islanders.
Well, each team unofficially with 9 shots on goal in the third. Game totals favor New York now, 35-21. In games decided in overtime, the Islanders have 5 wins and 9 losses. Bo Horvat's been the man. He's got 3 overtime winners this year. 1 for Tony DeAngelo. His first goal as an Islander was an overtime winner February 1st in Tampa. And the now departed Brock Nelson, also with an overtime winner. For Philadelphia in OT, 6 wins, 6 losses. They are led by rookie Matvei Michkov. 3 overtime winners. Couturier has 1. Tippett has 1, as does Rasmus Ristolainen. But right now, he's the only Flyer that is out injured. So, Greg, again, the Islanders need to win it in the overtime period or win it in a shootout to live for at least until tonight when Montreal is in Toronto. And again, the Islander fans will be breaking out their old John Tavares jerseys and hoping that he can help them.
No, they're not doing
No,
that.
they won't.
They're not doing
I exaggerate a little, yes.
I'm trying to think of who had played for the Leafs that the Islanders do appreciate, but
Matt Martin,
there you go. Bring out the Matty Martz Toronto Maple Leafs jerseys. But, Kinger, there is a situation that if the Islanders can pull this out, the Canadiens lose tonight in regulation, and the Islanders are then tied with a minute to go tomorrow in New Jersey, they would pull a goaltender because they would have to win their last 3 games they are in regulation. Still work to be done to even get to that point, but because today was not a regulation win and looking at the tiebreaker situation, that would be crucial.
So Horvat is out there with, again, his 3 overtime winners this year. Horvat now has 6 overtime winners as an Islander, 11 in his career. As we switch ends and go 3-on-3 for 5 minutes or less, sudden death is underway where possession is king, and Philadelphia wins the opening faceoff. So they have Sanheim as their blue liner. Forster up front has already got 2 goals, and Noah Cates. For the Islanders, it's Horvat and Palmieri up front, and the lone defenseman, Adam Pelech. So Philadelphia starts in their own end. Sanheim to Cates, right wing over the Islander line. Crisscrosses, leaves it for Sanheim. Right circle, shoots, knocked down by Hogberg, and then he covers with his glove. Our first whistle comes 24 seconds into overtime.
He wanted to play that Hogberg, but he had 2 Flyers standing pretty much on top of him, but he did move his glove from side to side to see if he could throw it into the corner for an Islander and try to push the puck the other direction, but whistle had gone. And so the Flyers make a swap. Islanders do not. Horvat, Pelech, and Palmieri, 2 forwards and 1 defenseman, the traditional setup.
So a pair of 14s on the faceoff here. Couturier against Horvat. Right circle in Islander ice to the left of Marcus Hogberg. Down on the dot, battle for and won by New York. Pelech is going to jump on it here to his own blue line. Feeds Palmieri, right wing over the red over the Flyer line. Curls there, and then backs it up to the neutral zone.
D'Angelo has replaced Pelech, so the fans in Philadelphia here let you know about that.
Tony D hears the boos. The former Flyer is going to hook around his net calmly and come up the near side, connect with Horvat, left wing over the Flyer line. Bo into the high slot, now top of the right circle. Horvat curls on the half wall, takes a look, skates it out high, crisscrosses with Palmieri, and leaves it for Kyle, top of the right circle. He'll take it to the goal line. Palmieri on the half wall now in the Philly end, right boards, leaves it for Horvat, who overskated it, and Konechny and Horvat battle. Konechny has it for the moment, rolls it toward his net, and then Ersson alertly covered, but fed it back for Sanheim as Horvat heads off on a change.
He slams his stick into the boards, but a fortunate break for the Islanders as Philadelphia misses on a pass, and New York comes ahead.
Here is Pajot, right wing over the Flyer line, crisscrossing with Lee, the captain, knifed off his stick by Paling, who takes it the other way through the neutral zone, and then spins a layout pass for Drysdale, but he's beaten to it by Pulock, who tried to get it out and turned it over. Paling down the slot, right circle now, Drysdale to the net, Deke shoots, and he slid it wide left. Ryan Pulock on it, ahead now for J.G. Pajot. Got to his own blue line and then hit the brakes. Watching the Islanders get some fresh legs on his pager now between the circles, as arriving off the bench are Adam Pelech, the defenseman, and Simon Holmstrom, the forward. Pelly hits Homer, left wing over the Flyer line with speed. Simon Holmstrom through the left circle, shoots, and a stick save by Ersson.
Tried to go 5-hole Holmstrom from the bottom of the left circle.
Cates has it in front of his own net. 3 minutes to go in overtime, tied at 3. Noah Cates to start from behind the goal. He's going to buy some time as both teams get fresh legs out there in sudden death. It's Owen Tippett at his own blue line. Now over the Flyer logo at center, left wing over the New York line with speed. Tippett pulls up, takes a look, goes to Cates behind the New York goal. Noah Cates, right half boards, marked every step of the way by Noah Dobson. So Noah on Noah here. He goes out to the blue line for York, center point. Left circle now, they settle it down as the Flyers' Owen Tippett carries it center point, then tries to cut down the slot, but it rolled off his stick. Noah Dobson has it on the turnover. To Tony DeAngelo, left wing through the neutral zone, down the middle, plays catch with Dobson over the Flyer line. DeAngelo to Dobson on the left half boards in the Philly end, now finds a man at left point, that's Bo Horvat. He's going to hold the zone right in front of the blue line and cross the ice toward the benches. Islanders getting more fresh bodies out there. DeAngelo buying time. Palmieri arrives down the slot, loads the gun, shoots, and it's deflected wide left. Palmieri the keep, top of the left circle, skates it out to center point. To DeAngelo in the high slot. For Horvat, same spot. Bo curls out to the blue line, center point. To Palmieri, bottom of the left circle. Palmieri kicks it out right point for DeAngelo. Tony D, spinorama above the right circle for Palmieri. Same spot, top of the right circle. Same spot, drop for Horvat in the slot. Shoots, and fighting it off with Sam Ersson. Islanders keep possession in the Flyer end, though, and now Horvat's going to back it up to center.
Don't let them change. You got tired Flyers on the ice. Islanders try to...
Horvat turned it over, Greg. You're right. He couldn't do it, but that's what happened. But now Anders Lee steals it back.
Flyers couldn't get any fresh bodies, though, so you still have 3 tired players out there.
Lee over the Flyer line, middle of the sheet, dishes it off to Horvat. Right point, Bo back to center ice for Ryan Pulock as an exhausted Horvat comes off. He is exchanging places now with J.G. Pajot, who comes on for him.
The players try to catch the Flyers in the midst of that change, push the puck forward, but one player is on, 2 tired Flyers still out there.
Ryan Pulock back skating in front of his own circles in Islander ice, ahead at center. Now to Anders Lee, left wing over the Flyer line in the final minute of overtime. The captain, bottom of the left circle, hits the brakes. Marked there by York. He kicks it along behind the net to Pelech in the left wing corner. Adams got to be careful here. The Flyers had a chance to turn it into a 2-on-1, but Pelech, too strong, fought it back and put it behind the Flyer goal. York has it for Philadelphia, though, below his goal line now. 40 seconds to go in sudden death.
The Islanders had possessed the puck probably about 3.5 minutes of the 4.5 that we played in this overtime, but now Philly gets the last look.
30 seconds to go. Konechny from out of his own end connects at center now as Bichkov drags it over the Islander line. The rookie with 3 overtime winners already this year. It's Michkov being fed here at left point in Islander ice. Matvei Michkov in the slot. Went skate to stick, still has it. Above the left circle, they work it right of the net for Sanheim's one-timer, wide of the goal. Konechny trying to hold it in, left corner with 10 seconds to go. DeAngelo settles it down with 5. Out to center for Simon Holmstrom with 3. He's at the red line at the Flyer blue. Homer shoots. Good save, Ersson, and this one will go to a shootout. Tied at 3. So, Greg, the Islanders' season hangs on the results of what Jack Capuano used to call a skills competition.
That should be the 3rd shot on goal for the Islanders in overtime, as that did come, it looked like a half a second before the green light went on behind the goal to indicate the end of overtime. So the Islanders with 3 shots, Flyers with 1 for the game. 39 for New York, 22 for Philadelphia. And again, joining us late, the Islanders need every point they can pick up in the standings the rrest of the way today, and the 3 final games as they came into play today, 8 points back of the Montreal Canadiens for that final wild card spot in the Eastern Conference. But the Islanders would have to jump ahead of them with the first tiebreaker regulation wins. That's already gone by the wayside today. 3 more games to go, though, after this one.
Islanders in games decided in a shootout, 2 wins and 2 losses. Both wins have been on home ice. October 19th against Montreal, the 9-round shootout win. Noah Dobson, the winner in the top of the 9th. And also November 5th against the Penguins, the standard 3-round win. For Philadelphia, they are 5-3 in games decided in shootouts. So again, interim head coach Brad Shaw of the Flyers, as the home coach, can decide whether he wants to go first or last. And he has yet to make that indication, but it's Marcus Hogberg in the net to our left for the Islanders, and Sam Ersson in goal for the Flyers to our right.
This is Hogberg's first shootout as an Islander.
So it looks like the first shooter will be Travis Konechny for Philadelphia. Konechny 3 for 8 on the season. Flyers have 3 shooters who have scored 3 times this year. And Konechny to lead it off here for Philadelphia. Number 11 in black, a right-handed shot, will pick it up at the center dot and go in right to left on Marcus Hogberg. So Konechny gets the signal, picks it up, drifts right, way right over the New York line. Konechny through the right circle, Hogberg way out, Deke shoots, stick save, Marcus Hogberg.
Tried to go 5-hole. That's been the move from the Flyers throughout this game, going 5-hole on Hogberg. That time Konechny is stopped by the stick of Marcus.
So Bo Horvat up next for the Islanders. He's 1 for 4 in shootouts this year. Can give the Islanders the lead here. Number 14 in white, a left-handed shot will go left to right in alone on Sam Ersson. The whistle blows, and Bo picks it up under the big scoreboard at center, goes right down the middle. Horvat down the slot, walks in, shoots. Ersson fights it off with his glove. We're scoreless after 1 round.
A lot of speed from Horvat on that attempt. And he tried to go upstairs glove side, but Ersson gets his shoulder on it. By the way, Hogberg in his career with Ottawa, 1 and 4 in shootouts, 6 goals against on 14 shooters.
So here's the rookie, Matvei Michkov, 3 for 6 in shootouts, picks it up at center, drifts way right over the Islander line. Michkov through the right circle, Hogberg out to meet him, shoots, and he missed it wide left.
And that was almost identical to his breakaway opportunity, trying to go blocker's side. And in regulation, they did say that Hogberg just got a little touch of it, but misses the net completely there. Same direction, blocker side.
So Max Siplikov, the rookie for the Islanders, 0 for 1 in shootouts, picks it up way right over the Flyer line, back down the middle. Siplikov dekes, shoots, what a save! Ersson on his belly, got it in desperation with his right leg. Still no score to round 3 we go.
Need to see the reverse angle to see how much Siplikov elevated that puck, because if that was off the ice the way I think it was Ersson kicking out his right pad and making an unbelievable save.
Tyson Forster, 2 goals today, 0 for 1 in the shootout. Carries it through the right circle, walks in, shoots, right pad save, Hogberg. And now the Islanders have a chance to win it in the bottom of the 3rd and keep their season alive. It will be Simon Holmstrom.
At that time, it was another 5-hole attempt, but here comes Holmstrom looking to win it for the Islanders.
1 for 1 in shootout attempts this year is the young Swede. He picks it up at the red line, drifts way left over the Flyer blue. Holmstrom slows it down through the left circle. Deeks shoots, saved by Ersson. We go to extra innings.
He tried to go back across the grain. Holmstrom with his body on the right side and tuck it in around Ersson on the far side, and Ersson just gets a little piece of that puck to prevent it from crossing the goal line. Here is Owen Tippett.
He is 3 for 5 this season in shootouts. 6 shooters, no goals yet. Picks it up at the red, way left over the Islander blue. Tippett slows it down in the slot. Deeks shoots, and what a save by Hogberg, getting it with his stick.
And that time, Tippett tried to go backhand roof, but he doesn't elevate the puck. So that's how Hogberg's able to make the save. And up next, Tony DeAngelo, who's been hearing the boos all afternoon long from the Flyers crowd.
The defenseman, first shootout attempt of the year, picks it up at the red, drifts slightly left over the Flyer blue. DeAngelo in, shoots, glove save, Ersson, and a beauty will go to the 5th.
0 for 8 now. The players are combined on each team. As next up for Philadelphia will be Bobby Brink.
He's 0 for 2 in shootouts. Again, no goals in 8 shots. Bobby Brink gets the signal, picks it up at center, way left over the Islander line. Number 10 in black, now way right, now back down the middle. Brink, Deke shoots, he scores! Bobby Brink with the first shootout goal of the skills competition, and now Kyle Palmieri must score for New York to keep the game alive.
And Brink pulled out every move in the book until he hit the hash marks and just slowed down, took a real shot at that point. So here is Palmieri. Needs the score to keep the Islanders mathematically alive for the postseason.
He is 1 for 4. Picks it up at the red. Drifts way right over the blue. Palmieri in alone on Ayerson. Shoots. Ayerson the save. And the Philadelphia Flyers defeat the New York Islanders 4-3 in a shootout. The New York Islanders are officially eliminated from playoff contention with the shootout loss this afternoon here at Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, PA.
The Islanders show the fight, down by a goal late, tied things up in a 6-on-5 empty net situation, but could not pull off the victory in overtime. Go 0 for 5 in the shootout. Marcus Hochberg stops the 4 shooters he sees, but Bobby Brink scores the only goal on the 10 attempts combined. And Philadelphia takes this one 4-3. Technically, the Islanders do win the season series as they pick up 5 points, and the Flyers finish with 4, so make it 6 straight years the Islanders do beat the Flyers in the season series.
But for the Islanders, Greg, the first time in 3 years now that there will be no Stanley Cup playoffs, as they've made the postseason each of the last 2 years, falling to Carolina in the opening round. But there will be no playoffs this year for the Islanders, as they needed to win this game in any manner, but instead they fall in the shootout by the final score of 4-3. We'll be back to talk about it on our post-game show. You're listening to New York Islanders hockey on the Islanders Radio Network.
Get ready to score big, Islanders fans. Download the McDonald's app today and earn points with every purchase to unlock your favorites, like those irresistible Chicken McNuggets or the classic Big Mac. You might find yourself becoming low-key obsessed with the McDonald's app, but hey, who can blame you when wins like these are on the menu? Start earning points today and treat yourself with the McDonald's app. Must opt into rewards.
Long Island businesses.
Long Island is more exciting than ever at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Come spend the night with us. Kick back and relax with our special room packages. Get 25% off our lowest room rate and a $50 food credit with our stay and dine package, or 25% off and $25 free slot play with our stay and play package. Book today at jakes58.com. Discover the excitement you've been missing at Jake's 58 Casino Hotel, close to home at exit 58 off the LIE. If gambling is a problem for you or someone you care about, please call the 24-hour toll-free helpline at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
MSG Plus is now the Gotham Sports app. Download the Gotham Sports app today.
Long Island businesses score big with Coyote Promotions. Connecting brands with fans is our game, and we're in it to win it. From iconic giveaways to everyday branded promotional items, we turn your brand into a star player. We're local, minority-owned, and just like the Islanders, we know what it takes to win. Team up with Coyote Promotions. Visit coyotepromos.com/Islanders today. Your brand, our power play. We're the true champions of the game. Don't forget, that's coyotepromos.com/Islanders.
Islanders fans, we know that you love your hockey. That's why you follow the blue and orange all year, every year. Some might call that sort of behavior obsessive, but we prefer to call it loyalty. And we think you should reward yourself for that loyalty with an ice-cold Heineken Silver. So grab yourself the world-class light beer